This guy spent 8 straight years grinding monsters in an apocalyptic world. During the most critical battle, Zhang Yi successfully took down the final boss, the strongest evil dragon. Zhang Yi obtained the last fragment and combined it into the Dragon Blood Scroll. Just when he thought he was about to reach the pinnacle, he was betrayed by his closest friend. It was every man for himself. Not only did he lose the Dragon Blood Scroll, but he died before he even knew what hit him. Unwilling to accept his fate, Zhang Yi died filled with hatred. But fate had other plans. He woke up once again. Only this time, time had reversed. He was back to 948 on the 28th. 8 years in the past, the very day the apocalyptic world's gate was about to open. Zhang Yi couldn't believe his eyes. He threw open the window, and the scene outside was still a peaceful city. This was the real deal. He had been reborn, returning to the timeline before the apocalypse began. Zhang Yi clenched his hands into fists. If heaven had given him a second chance, then that bastard Mu Chen, the one who backstabbed him and sent him to his grave in his past life, was definitely not getting away with it. But first, there was something more important to do. Before the apocalypse began, Zhang Yi had to find the scattered god-tier talent cards. In the apocalyptic world, every player who joined would be randomly assigned a talent skill by the system, but the rare, god-tier talents could only be activated using these cards. In total, there would be 10 god-tier talent cards, distributed randomly across the world. Relying on his past life's memories, Zhang Yi deduced that the nearest card was on the top floor of the Jin Mao Tower. He rushed over and sprinted all the way up to the rooftop, and sure enough, the golden card was there. But before Zhang Yi could even touch it, someone else appeared. "Hey, kid, this entire Jin Mao Tower is mine, and that includes the card." The newcomer was Lu Qingzhe, a notoriously arrogant young master. In the previous life, he was the owner of the final god-tier talent card, as well as the heir to the largest real estate group in Linhai City. But Zhang Yi had no intention of backing down. To him, whoever got the card first owned it. But just then, a few armed lunatics appeared out of nowhere. They aimed their guns at Zhang Yi and wildly opened fire. "You dare take what's mine, I'll show you the consequences." Zhang Yi dodged the bullets like he was using hacks. This was insane. He hadn't even logged into the game system yet, and they were already pulling out machine guns. He dashed forward, timing his move perfectly. Only 5 seconds left until the apocalypse system descends. Zhang Yi made a spectacular leap and snatched the golden card. Lu Qingzhe gritted his teeth, snatched a gun from a subordinate, and decided to deal with him personally. "You brat, don't even think about taking my card." The bullet left the barrel. But Zhang Yi truly had luck on his side. The moment the bullet was just a hand's breadth away from him, the apocalypse officially began. The scene before him instantly transformed, and a status window appeared with a message. "Do you choose to participate in the apocalypse?" Zhang Yi chose yes without a second thought, and his body began to fade into thin air. At that very moment, many others were joining the game alongside him. When Zhang Yi opened his eyes, he was before a giant altar, with his god-tier talent card floating above it. Zhang Yi was no stranger to this magnificent sight. He walked forward, step by step, and reached out to touch the card. Immediately, a small, beautiful fairy appeared. Zhang Yi's player profile had been encoded. He was player number 8857. The little girl introduced herself as Zhang Yi's personal system fairy, and the god-tier talent card had unlocked the skill "Let me use it for him." The name sounded a bit lame, but this was a ridiculously overpowered skill. It allowed the user to copy the talents of other players. The cooldown time was 1 hour. The fairy then introduced Zhang Yi to the 3 factions in the game for him to choose from. They were the alien race, the beast race, and the human race. Zhang Yi thought for a long time. In his previous life, he had chosen to be human because the human race received a 20% bonus to reputation. And in the apocalyptic world, reputation was everything. "Wait a minute, it seems you're carrying something else on you." The little fairy reached her hand towards Zhang Yi and pulled out something that stunned even him, because it was the Dragon Blood Scroll. This was the item that Mu Chen had stopped at nothing to obtain in his previous life. He never thought that after kicking the bucket and coming back to life, it would still end up in his hands. After the system detected that he possessed the Dragon Blood Scroll, a 4th faction was unlocked, the Dragon Race, which was a hidden race. Zhang Yi gave a wry smile. For things to go so smoothly right from the start, he didn't know if this was a blessing or a curse. He walked towards the gate to choose his Dragon Race, beginning the true login process. Zhang Yi entered a waiting room called the Spawn Point. Inside, many other players were also going through their login process. As expected, everything was exactly as he remembered. They were all marveling with excitement at the realistic experience of being brought into this world. But little did they know, not a single one of them would be able to leave this place. While he waited, Zhang Yi decided to check his profile. Aside from his existing trait and faction, all his stats were at their base levels: strength, intelligence, endurance, agility, and stamina. Additionally, Zhang Yi possessed a unique passive skill exclusive to the dragon race, Hell Dragon Fire, which was gold grade. Whenever he launched a basic attack or used a skill, there was a 0.1% chance of activating and summoning the Hell Dragon Fire. Within the range of this flame, all enemies would receive true damage equal to 150% of his attack power. Even though the activation chance was incredibly low, the effect of this passive skill was comparable to a god-tier trait, no less. Zhang Yi looked at the crowd before him, thinking he first needed to understand the trait card in his hand. He smirked to himself. First things first, he needed to find someone to copy a skill from. Very quickly, Zhang Yi selected his target, a tall, bald-headed man. Zhang Yi then activated his trait and placed a hand on the man's shoulder. The man immediately grew wary and slapped his hand away. Zhang Yi scratched his head, putting on an awkward expression and saying he'd mistaken him for someone else to brush it off. And just like that, he had successfully copied the bald man's epic grade trait. It was the Treasure Hunter trait, which allowed the player to find treasure chests within a 500-meter radius. Zhang Yi grinned from ear to ear. His luck was truly not bad. A random pick and he'd already hit an epic grade trait. At that moment, the spawn point opened up, and a voice came through the broadcast speakers. It was basically just welcoming the players to the apocalyptic world. The bald man was eager to be the first one out. Seeing this, Zhang Yi stepped forward to stop him. "Don't be so rash, buddy. It's dangerous outside." But not only did the man ignore him, he even mocked Zhang Yi for being a coward. After shoving Zhang Yi aside, the bald man charged straight out. Open your eyes and watch how a pro does it. But as it turned out, nobody wanted to learn from that lesson, because his grand leap landed him right inside the mouth of a giant spider. And the bald guy was gone in an instant, so fast that nobody could even react. And it didn't stop there. The system then announced that the bald man could not be revived. He was permanently dead. The people in the spawn point finally began to panic. Everything was unfolding just as it had in Zhang Yi's previous life. A new status window was sent to all players. It was the first mission, along with information about safe zone number 886 in the 8th district. It was named Hope Town. The main mission was to reach this Hope Town. Once there, their safety would be guaranteed. The time limit for the mission was a 4-hour countdown. The reward was 1 chance at revival, but failure meant ending up just like the bald man. There would be no second chances. But the problem now was that the spawn point was surrounded by monsters. These were all new players. They had absolutely no idea what they needed to do to defeat those monsters. Zhang Yi, however, was calmer than anyone. He just grabbed a glass-breaking hammer from up high. In his past life, someone had used this as a weapon in a moment of desperation. But unexpectedly, it turned out to be a disguised green-grade weapon. That fact had made many other players burn with envy. In this life, Zhang Yi was quick to find it first. Sure enough, after he picked it up, the glass-breaking hammer transformed into a dagger. It was forged from a meteorite from the coldest lands, and its utility was not bad at all. At the same time, thanks to the new trait he just copied from the bald guy, Zhang Yi also discovered a hidden treasure chest in the spawn point. He immediately pulled it out from a hidden corner. Inside was a bottle of Dragon's Breath potion, also of green-grade quality. With a new weapon in hand, Zhang Yi took the lead and charged out to fight the monsters first. The new players were both amazed and envious. "Hey, look at the weapon in that guy's hand. It's green grade. This guy is definitely using hacks." A few of them started shouting. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Zhang Yi, but they all thought this kid was just looking for a death wish. Even with a legendary weapon, he was still just a new player. How could he possibly deal with so many giant spiders? Moreover, the spiders were extremely aggressive. The power difference between the two sides was truly immense. Zhang Yi was forced to fight on the run until he found the right opportunity and pulled out the bottle of Dragon's Breath potion. He timed it perfectly, throwing the uncapped potion into the giant spider's mouth. Instantly, a massive fire erupted violently. Zhang Yi leveled up twice, received 50 coins and a health potion. He raised an eyebrow, not expecting the Dragon's Breath potion to be so effective. He thought to himself that it'd be great if he could find a few more of those. Meanwhile, the crowd back at the spawn point was in a complete uproar. Seeing Zhang Yi defeat the giant spider in a single move, they were now even more certain that he was using hacks. I have a feeling this kid is no small fry. Should we try to team up with him? Night had fallen. Following the map's directions, Zhang Yi started heading towards Hopetown. Suddenly, the sound of hurried footsteps made him extremely alert. On alert. A man rushed over and grabbed him. Please, save my daughter. A monster dragged her into the woods. Zhang Yi looked towards the forest. In his past life, many players had died there, but it also held quite a few good items. Still, something about this man felt off. Despite this, Zhang Yi followed him into the forest. But the woods were vast, and when he turned around, the man was gone. Forget it, I'll just keep going, he thought. He pressed on, completely unaware that a pair of eyes was watching his every move. Before long, Zhang Yi did indeed find a little girl, still holding a lollipop in her hand. Being a good guy, Zhang Yi was about to lead the child out when suddenly, a stunningly beautiful and curvy purple-haired woman appeared. But Zhang Yi was in no mood to admire her beauty, because no matter how he looked at her, he could tell she was an enemy. Plus, walking behind her was the very same man who had begged for his help. Good work. You've helped me lure another piece of prey. The purple-haired woman was clearly speaking to the man. Zhang Yi knew instantly he'd walked into a trap. Just then, the system issued a new quest for him. Rescue the lost child from the gloomy forest and bring her to Hopetown. The time limit was a 1-hour countdown. Success would grant him a ring as a reward, while failure carried no penalty. Zhang Yi recalled from his past life that a few parties had activated this hidden quest while exploring the gloomy forest. The value of the rewards and experience made many players green with envy, so he had no intention of letting this opportunity slip by. The moment Zhang Yi accepted the quest, the woman's body began to transform. It turned out she was a spider demon. Seeing the woman's new form, the child next to Zhang Yi was scared to tears and started wailing. He could only offer a few words of comfort before pulling out the blue-grade weapon he'd recently looted. Zhang Yi charged forward aggressively, but the spider demon's hide was like armor. His physical attacks had absolutely no effect. The spider demon immediately retaliated. Zhang Yi barely managed to dodge the attack. His spirit companion warned him to abandon the quest. That spider demon, the Widow, was a level 20 boss. Based on his current strength, he couldn't possibly defeat her, but running away wasn't Zhang Yi's style. Besides, he wanted to save the child, so he stubbornly refused to leave. Seeing she couldn't persuade him, the spirit said no more. In any case, abandoning the quest is the only way for you to survive right now. I trust you'll make the best decision. Zhang Yi gritted his teeth. Don't be so quick to decide my fate. Zhang Yi charged at the spider demon once more. She readily met his charge, but his goal wasn't to fight the spider demon head-on. Zhang Yi remembered from his past life, seeing a post on the World Channel about a hidden treasure chest connected to this quest. After activating his treasure hunter talent, sure enough, Zhang Yi spotted a hidden chest. He completely ignored the Widow's attack and dashed towards it. She was taken aback, realizing she wasn't his target. But before she could react, Zhang Yi had already reached the treasure chest. Congratulations, you have received the blue-grade skill book, Chain Lightning. Zhang Yi grinned from ear to ear. He'd actually found the hidden skill. Chain Lightning dealt magic damage, which meant the spider demon's tough hide would no longer be a problem. The Widow frantically summoned a swarm of more spiders, wanting to tear Zhang Yi to shreds. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi quickly absorbed the skill book. Once learned, it was time to put it to practice. The Widow was zapped by the Chain Lightning, leaving her twitching uncontrollably on the ground. The battle was over, even faster than he'd expected. Zhang Yi received a new epic-grade weapon, the Poison Fang Dagger, crafted from the spider's fang. With that done, he took the little girl's hand and left. After walking for some time, they finally reached Hopetown. A large crowd had already gathered there, including a familiar face, Lao Chengze. At first, he didn't spot Zhang Yi, but one of his underlings did. Boss, isn't that the punk who stole your god-grade talent card? Lao Chengze looked where his subordinate was pointing. Sure enough, it was Zhang Yi. The man seethed with rage, immediately sending his men to tail him. Zhang Yi led the child quite a distance and finally found her home. His quest was complete, and he immediately received Talia's ring. The item didn't have many functions. Wearing it simply increased his luck stat by 55 points. But in this post-apocalyptic world, luck was an extremely rare stat to raise. The higher one's luck, the better the rewards from future quests. He had truly struck gold. Just then, Zhang Yi noticed an enhancement shop on the side of the road. The player running it was boldly proclaiming that if an enhancement failed, it was free of charge. Zhang Yi went over to see what was going on. Noticing that the burly blacksmith had a sky-high enhancement success rate, he asked the person next to him if the guy was using a hack. But the person immediately waved their hands in denial. "You don't get it. This guy's talent is crafting enhancement." Zhang Yi let out an O of interest. The young man had just enhanced another extraordinary piece of equipment. If he was that good, Zhang Yi decided he might as well copy him. No sooner said than done. Zhang Yi secretly touched the chubby young man. Instantly, he also acquired the epic-grade crafting enhancement talent. Thanks to it, the success rate of equipment enhancement would increase by 50%. Eager to test it out, Zhang Yi took out his Venom Fang dagger, and the result was 4 consecutive successful enhancements. The crowd was utterly astonished, and the chubby young man wasn't happy at all. He had no idea where this guy came from to steal his spotlight. "Everyone, look, this young man just successfully enhanced an epic-grade weapon to level 15. A base level 15 weapon was rare enough, let alone an epic-grade one. Who on earth was this person?" The crowd was still buzzing with admiration, but suddenly, Zhang Yi's ears started ringing, and his vision went dark. His little spirit had to remind him that his vitality was nearing its limit. Zhang Yi was forced to rest at the tavern ahead and wait until he recovered before continuing to level up. Zhang Yi went to the nearest tavern and rented a room. In the tavern, everyone was discussing the latest news on the World Channel. "Have you heard? Someone completed a hidden quest in the dark forest. I heard he even has an epic-grade weapon." Zhang Yi knew they were talking about him, but he didn't let it go to his head. While luck is a form of strength, he was determined to rise through the ranks using his own true abilities. Zhang Yi lazed around in his rented room, calculating that he needed to quickly reach level 20 and then change his class. He could choose to join one of 7 professions: knight, warrior, assassin, mage, archer, priest, or beast tamer, which would allow him to learn even more powerful skills. And then, when he met Mu Chen again, he would make him taste the price of betrayal. The next morning, Zhang Yi went out for a stroll, but he constantly felt someone following him. "Stop sneaking around. Come on out." As soon as he finished speaking, the person appeared. Who else could it be but Lu Chengzai? His heart was filled with hatred, and he had brought many of his subordinates with him. He was clearly here to reclaim his God-grade talent card. Zhang Yi was forced into PK mode, which was perfect, as he wanted to test out the chain lightning skill he had just learned. Full of confidence, Zhang Yi activated his skill, but not a single bolt of lightning was released. The system warned him that he had been hit with a silence spell, preventing him from using any other skills. A triumphant look appeared on Lu Chengzai's face. The silence spell lasted for a full 2 minutes. He was certain victory was his. A burly warrior charged forward to attack, but his strike felt like a mosquito biting steel. "What's going on? Hitting him doesn't even draw blood. His gear must be too good. Our damage isn't high enough to hurt him." Lu Chengzai gritted his teeth and cursed his subordinates for being a bunch of useless trash. He then drew his own weapon, intending to handle it himself. One glance was all Zhang Yi needed to see that it was also a blue-quality bow, and it had already been enhanced to level 15. Lu Chengzi aimed his bow straight at him and drew the string taut. The arrow shot forward, then exploded in midair, turning into hundreds of smaller arrows. This rain of arrows caused Zhang Yi some minor injuries, and he could no longer hold back in this situation. "If I can't use skills, then I'll just play the summoning game." Zhang Yi waved his hand and summoned a hell dragon. The dragon spewed a massive burst of flames, instantly scattering Lu Chengzai's group and even causing him to drop his bow. Zhang Yi was extremely satisfied. He had been worried about reaching level 20, and now these fools had delivered weapons and experience points right to his doorstep. That bow was called the silver-plated bow, and its main skill was the meteor arrow rain that Lu Chengzai had just demonstrated. A single arrow could split into 100 others, raining down like meteors. Zhang Yi had also hit the level 20 mark. Now he could return to town and find the class advancement officer. When Zhang Yi returned to Hope Town, Lu Chengzai's group was huddled together at the resurrection fountain. Players who have resurrections remaining will automatically revive at the nearest resurrection fountain after death. Zhang Yi swaggered over, holding the silver-plated bow, and thanked Lu Chengzai. The arrogance on his face was infuriating. This drove Lu crazy. "You little brat, just you wait for me. One day, I will make you pay me back double." Zhang Yi treated Lu Chengzai's curses as nothing more than a dog barking, not worth his attention. He walked straight to the class advancement officer NPC. "I want to unlock my class advancement." After confirming his level, the class change palace immediately opened, and Zhang Yi stepped inside. Even though he wasn't a Libra, he still had trouble choosing. Among the 7 available classes, the Beast Tamer was the least popular among players. Because even though they could summon beasts to fight and tank damage for them, raising those beasts was no easy task. From the very beginning of the nurturing process, a beast tamer had to share their own resources with their pet. But in a post-apocalyptic world, resources were always scarce. This caused many beast tamers in the late game to run out of resources and stagnate, eventually getting eliminated by other players. Currently, only the Knight and the Beast Tamer classes could partner with the Dragon race. Zhang Yi felt that choosing Knight wasn't a bad option, but the class was too high risk, high reward. In his previous life, many players who chose that class suffered devastating losses whenever they lost a duel in the late game. But the Beast Tamer was different. The class might not be suitable for others, but Zhang Yi had a god-tier talent. His resource-gathering speed was dozens of times faster than other players. In the late stages of the apocalypse, he could also rely on his identity as a member of the dragon race to acquire a powerful dragon partner. With that, he could form a perfect team with a tank, a DPS, and a healer. With this in mind, Zhang Yi walked up to the man representing the Beast Tamer class. Seeing him approach, the man looked up and said, "I have been waiting here for a long time, young man." The little elf girl appeared once again to warn him before he made his choice. "Hey kid, you better think carefully. The right class can save you a ton of effort." But Zhang Yi's mind was made up. He confirmed his choice to change his class and become a beast tamer. After changing his class, Zhang Yi returned to the town square. While eavesdropping, he overheard two other players talking about Undead Town. It seemed they had just returned from a failed raid. "I told you that town was dangerous, and now look what happened. We didn't even see an elite monster, and I lost so much of my equipment and experience for nothing. Who the hell knew that even a normal mob would be that strong? Don't you dare blame me. Why didn't you say anything when we were actually heading in?" Zhang Yi pricked up his ears. Undead Town was the place where he ran his first dungeon in his previous life. If he could assemble a proper team this time, combined with his knowledge of how to clear it, taking down the final boss wouldn't be difficult at all. Just as he was thinking this, someone in the middle of the square was actually looking for two more teammates to form a party for Undead Town. Their requirement was simple. You had to have completed the level 20 class change. Before Zhang Yi could step forward, a beautiful woman applied first. The group immediately agreed. Seeing only one slot left, Zhang Yi shamelessly rushed over. The party leader sized him up from head to toe. He figured that since Zhang Yi had just become a beast tamer, he probably didn't even have a combat summon yet. To put it bluntly, he was just a little mage with no skills. However, since there weren't many players who had completed their class change yet, the leader reluctantly accepted Zhang Yi into the party. The five of them headed to Undead Town together. Along the way, the party leader couldn't help but wonder why Zhang Yi had chosen that class. "Hey kid, haven't you been reading the world chat? The Beast Tamer has the lowest damage output of all 7 main classes." Maybe it's just because I like raising pets," Zhang Yi replied casually. Just then, the beautiful woman with her face covered suddenly signaled for them to be quiet. "Be careful, enemies are here." The moment she finished speaking, an arrow came whistling through the air. The five of them immediately entered a combat stance. All around them, skeletons began to rise from the ground. The party leader took on the role of the melee tank. The mysterious beauty was no slouch either. She used her powerful flames to incinerate several skeletons at once, but in a moment of carelessness, she was ambushed from behind. A skeleton's cold dagger was pressed against her neck, rendering her unable to move. And of the five, Zhang Yi seemed to be struggling the most. Just then, Zhang Yi summoned a flock of crows, saving the woman in the nick of time. This was a basic beast tamer skill, but its damage output was relatively low. Zhang Yi pulled the woman's hand and regrouped with the other three. The party leader yelled, "Run!" He knew all too well that these monsters were undead and would resurrect soon. The five of them ran until they reached a gloomy castle. The dungeon's final boss was inside. Zhang Yi began assigning roles. The knight will be in charge of tanking the damage. The main damage dealers, like us, will need to move from behind to avoid the boss's area of effect spells in its second phase. Seeing how fluently he gave orders, the party leader grew suspicious. "How do you know all this so well? Have you been here before?" "How could I have?" Zhang Yi waved his hands dismissively. "This is all just from past gaming experience, that's all." But the leader wasn't buying it. Because the guy saw Truong Ditch was equipped with the Venom Fang dagger. How could a new player possibly obtain an epic-grade weapon and know the dungeon so well? Clearly, Truong Ditch was lying. The man's smile slowly turned sinister. He figured Truong Ditch must have even better items on him. He'd hit the jackpot. Truong Ditch went ahead and opened the castle doors. Inside was a spine-chillingly dark space. He warned everyone to stick close together, saying it would be dangerous if they split up. but those three scumbags just flashed a wicked grin. Then, they slammed the door shut from the outside. "Just stay put in there, you two. I'll be back to check on you later." The beautiful mage panicked, not understanding. Why would their own teammates do such a thing? But Truong Dich saw through their intentions in an instant. It seemed those three bastards wanted to use the boss to get rid of him, then claim all the rewards and experience for themselves. Before the young woman could even process this, the dungeon's final boss appeared. The moment they faced off, the boss launched a massive attack at them. Truong Dich quickly grabbed the mage's hand, pulling her out of the attack's blast radius. "You saved me again, thank you," but they had no time for a tender moment, as the boss was already preparing its next attack. Truong Dich's heart raced. The two of them were a beast tamer and a mage. Both were glass cannons. Without a tank, there was no way they could withstand the damage from this final boss. In this desperate situation, the beautiful mage summoned a horde of undead warriors. Truong Dich was stunned. This was the power of a spirit evoker summoner. It was a talent that came from a god-tier talent card. It allowed the user to resurrect the dead to fight for them for 5 straight minutes, with a 24-hour cooldown. They won't last long. We need to find a way out of here, fast. With this army of undead warriors providing cover, Truong Dich saw their chance to win. He told the mage they just needed to hold out for about an hour. He knew the boss's weak spot. She just had to leave the rest to him. Faced with the army of undead summoned by the mage, the boss went into an even greater frenzy. Truong Dich couldn't get a single chance to get close. He knew the gem on its back was the source of all the undead archmage's power, and at the same time, it was also its greatest weakness. After a tense exchange, Truong Dich summoned his flock of black crows. Now, the undead archmage had to fight the undead warriors while also being harassed by the flock of black crows. Truong Dich calmly waited for his opportunity. When the final boss turned its back, he took aim and hurled the Venom Fang dagger in his hand. The blade struck true, sinking deep into the gem. The undead archmage let out a blood-curdling scream. The system immediately sent a notification, congratulating Truong Dich on successfully defeating the final boss. After this battle, his level shot straight up to level 25. He also received the Staff of Light. This was a level 30 epic-grade weapon, completely outclassing his old Venom Fang dagger. The Howling Icewind skill that came with the staff could unleash a blizzard within a 100-meter radius, freezing all enemies for 5 seconds. Truong Dich and the beautiful mage were grinning from ear to ear. This staff had a mere 2% drop rate. This was a true blessing from the heavens. Afterward, Truong Dich took the staff and gave it to the young woman. She was completely shocked, as the weapon was incredibly valuable. But the staff was a weapon specifically crafted for the mage class. It was useless in the hands of a beast tamer like him. Besides, if she hadn't summoned the undead warriors, Truong Dich would never have had the time to take down the boss. So he didn't hesitate at all in giving her this precious weapon. A moment later, the 3 scumbags outside no longer heard any commotion from within the hall. They were certain that Truong Dich and the mage had been slaughtered by the boss. Filled with excitement, the 3 of them prepared to enter and collect their prize. But when they went inside, they saw the 2 of them still alive and kicking. "What's wrong? Disappointed you don't see our corpses?" Seeing this, the 2 followers began to feel afraid. They realized Truong Dich might have been able to defeat the boss all by himself. It seemed his strength was no simple matter, but the leader had more guts than brains. He wasn't about to lose all the loot and experience points just like that. What's there to be afraid of? After fighting for that long, they're probably too tired to even walk straight. Let's get them. At their leader's command, the other 2 quickly rushed towards Truong Dich and the mage. Truong Dich wasn't afraid of the leader, but the way he attacked without hesitation reminded him of Mothon's betrayal. This psychological trauma caused Truong Dich immense pain. In the end, why must you people always betray your comrades? Truong Dich grabbed the beautiful mage's hand, successfully copying her god-tier spirit evoker talent. Then, without any hesitation, he summoned the undead archmage. Under Truong Dich's control, the ferocious final boss charged towards the 3 traitors. Before they could even react, their entire bodies were frozen, solid, and then they shattered into pieces. And so, the fate of the 3 greedy fools was to meet a painful end. What's more, they had no chance of revival. In other words, they were dead for good. The threat was neutralized, but Truong Dich had overexerted himself and passed out. In his unconscious state, he seemed to see his father. It was from when Truong Dich was very young, but had already shown extraordinary talent. His father promised that when he surpassed him in the rankings, he would give him a new game. Unfortunately, Truong Dich was now trapped in this apocalyptic world. He probably wouldn't live to see the new game his father promised. When Trong Dich finally woke up, he was back in his room at the inn. On the table was a letter and a ring, left by that beautiful woman. Thank you for saving me when I was in danger. By the time you read this, I will have already left to find my brother. Inside this storage ring is the equipment I took from those 3 men. You might need it later. I believe that if we're fated, we will meet again. Hanya Nu. Ha, a name as beautiful as the person. Trong Dich clutched the ring in his hand and began to inspect it. It seemed those 3 bastards had looted quite a lot of stuff from other players. None of the equipment in here was a duplicate. Just like that, his immediate gear problem was solved. Now, Trong Dich was only missing one more thing, a magical beast. He opened up the map. Based on his old memories, the fog in the north concealed the Dragon Emperor's tomb dungeon. This was the only dungeon that dropped a magical beast before level 40. But this dungeon was no walk in the park. This time, if he wanted to clear it, he had to choose his teammates carefully. If he ran into another group of scumbags like the last ones, it would be a huge pain. But that was easier said than done. The next day, Trong Dich spent the entire morning wandering around the town square, but still came up empty. Then, he happened to see a few beautiful women recruiting talents for their guild. A bold idea suddenly popped into Trong Dich's head. Why doesn't he start a guild of his own? In his past life, he teamed up with that scum, Mo Than, right from the start, which made him forget that a guild was the best way to attract strong players. No sooner said than done. Trong Dich went to the guild management headquarters. He wanted to establish a new guild called San Than. The next step was to recruit members. At first, Trong Dich thought about handing out flyers on the street, but the chances of finding someone good were too random. He'd be better off going somewhere with a lot of skilled players. Trong Dich then remembered that in his past life, after the first survival mission, the system would open a duel tournament, and almost all the top players in this area would participate. This was the perfect opportunity to recruit talent. Just as he was thinking this, the system sent a special mission notification. It was, of course, information about that one-on-one duel tournament. All players who had completed their class advancement could participate. The reward was 100 coins and a rare skill book. Trong Dich immediately confirmed his participation. He was instantly teleported to a special arena, a floating sports stadium. Trong Dich scanned his surroundings. It seemed he had been asleep for quite a while. The other players had, on average, already reached level 30. Meanwhile, he was still stuck at level 25. At this rate, he wouldn't get far. First, he needed to find a way to level up quickly. Go on, hurry up and finish him. The commotion from one side caught Trong Dich's attention. A duel was underway between a mage and an assassin. It looked like the advantage was with the assassin, since the mage on the stage hadn't moved an inch. But just as the assassin was about to deliver the finishing blow, his body suddenly froze, suspended in midair. Oh my god, that's an epic skill. Where did this guy get that? What was binding the assassin was the mage's shadow imprisonment skill. It allows the user to imprison an enemy and deal damage in the darkness. The duration of the imprisonment and the amount of damage increases with the skill's level. The assassin struggled in midair, but he refused to lose. He even offered a deal of 1 million yuan, saying that if the mage forfeited, he would immediately transfer the money to his account after they escaped the apocalypse. 1 million was not a small amount. The mage let out a self-deprecating smile. If he'd had 1 million back then, his company could have stayed afloat instead of going bankrupt. His family wouldn't have fallen apart, and he certainly wouldn't have been pushed to the point of wanting to give up on life. But now, 1 or 2 million meant nothing anymore. They had entered an apocalyptic world. And now, that he didn't want to lose. And he definitely couldn't lose to someone weaker than him. I won't let my life be a failure again, the mage roared, simultaneously increasing his power. Asterisk, ding, asterisk. The system announced that the mage named Vu That had defeated the assassin, Trin Nin, and successfully leveled up. But Vu That's ambition didn't stop there. Filled with resentment, he wanted revenge on the world, so he swore to defeat all the other players. Trong Dich, watching from below the stage, gulped. This mage seemed like a tough nut to crack. System. The system continued to randomly pair up opponents across various other arenas, and Zhang Yi's first opponent was a guy named Duan Feng. In his past life, he'd heard this name on the World Channel. Duan Feng had cleared numerous dungeons of varying difficulty all by himself. Zhang Yi joined Arena N20. Duan Feng was already waiting for him there. He was a Tier 1 knight, already at level 35. Zhang Yi sighed. The game had just started, yet this guy's level was already so high. This guy must be grinding levels day and night like a madman. The two stepped into the ring. Duanfeng had 500 more HP than Zhang Yi. He was also quite honorable, offering to let Zhang Yi attack first since his level was lower. But Zhang Yi was stubborn and felt this kind of pity was unnecessary. Stop looking down on people. It's not over till it's over. Zhang Yi waved his hand, summoning a flock of crows. Duanfeng actually liked this confident, almost arrogant attitude of his. He drew one of the 3 swords from his hip, ready for battle. All right then, let's see what you've got. The first skill Duanfeng used was Guardian Swords. When this skill is activated, a knight can summon countless soul swords. Each soul sword can block up to 500 damage and reflect a corresponding amount back to the enemy. The number of soul swords increases with the skill's level. Zhang Yi immediately suffered the reflected damage from the very attack he had just launched. His health dropped by 200 in the blink of an eye. This Duanfeng guy was pretty damn sly. Letting Zhang Yi attack first was clearly just a trap he dug for him to fall into. What's wrong? Scared to attack now? Duanfeng began to taunt him from the other side. Zhang Yi saw that his opponent's health was still full, surrounded by 4 soul swords. He quickly calculated in his head, to damage Duanfeng, he had to break through those 4 soul swords. And since each sword could withstand a maximum of 500 damage, it meant he'd have to take at least 2,000 reflected damage. But his total health was only 1,800 now. This was an incredibly difficult problem. While he was lost in thought, Duanfeng was already charging at him fiercely. In a duel, hesitation creates an opportunity for your opponent to take your life. Don't you even know that? Zhang Yi struggled to defend. If this continued, his chances of winning were clearly 0%. He had to find a way to break through those 4 soul swords. Remembering the storage ring Han Yanu had given him, Zhang Yi took out a set of necro armor. After equipping it, he would be protected by the necro spirit. When taking fatal damage, he wouldn't die, but would instead recover 10% of his health. Right now, Zhang Yi could only rely on this item's life-saving effect and gamble everything on one play. He put it on, then charged full speed toward his opponent. Duanfeng felt that Zhang Yi was clearly on a suicide mission. With that amount of health, he'd be skewered by the soul swords long before he could even attack. With that thought, Duanfeng confidently raised a sword to meet the charge. This ends here. I've won. Zhang Yi was indeed torn apart by Duanfeng's 4 soul swords. But thanks to the effect of the necro armor, he was restored with 200 health, and all 4 of Duanfeng's soul swords vanished. Before he could even understand what had happened, a sharp pain shot through his chest. Zhang Yi's Venomfang dagger slashed through powerfully, taking all 2,500 of his opponent's health in a single blow. Duanfeng fell in an instant. This was the real ending. You lose. Zhang Yi had won, successfully advancing to the next round. He offered a hand to help Duanfeng up. You're very strong. If it weren't for the protection from this armor set, I would have lost a long time ago. Want to join my guild? There's a hidden, high-difficulty dungeon in the northern sector. If we team up, it'll definitely be easier to clear. Duanfeng grabbed Zhang Yi's hand and stood up. Seeing that his opponent possessed the necro armor set, he had to look at Zhang Yi in a new light. As for the invitation to join the guild, Duanfeng said he'd give it a shot. Not long after, the first round ended, and the second round began. Yuqi's first opponent was none other than Han Yanu. This girl looked so fragile and weak, yet in the previous round, she'd ground her opponent into the dust. The audience below was incredibly excited. This was a battle between the strongest mages. Don't think I'll go easy on you. There's no mercy in the arena. Yuqi laid down the law, threatening her aggressively. And Han Yanu, despite looking weak, didn't back down from her opponent in the slightest. Enough with the nonsense. Just give it your all. The battle between Yuqi and Han Yanu drew an ever-growing crowd of spectators. They all wanted to know who the strongest mage was, and Zhang Yi was no exception. After all, he wanted to recruit another powerful mage for his guild. Duanfeng, however, seemed uninterested. I'm going to go train. If you need anything, just call me on the guild channel. Zhang Yi shrugged. It seemed the first person he recruited was a cold-hearted leveling machine. But having a knight as strong as him join was already a stroke of luck. Zhang Yi couldn't ask for more. For now, he'd go watch the so-called strongest mage everyone was talking about. Who knows, he might just find another trump card for the guild. But he never expected to run into Han Yanu here. She's holding the very scepter he gave her before. Compared to their last meeting, her aura is now on a whole other level. That's a nice scepter you've got there, but it'll be mine soon enough. Vu, that's sheer arrogance, was infuriating Han Yanu. The young woman confidently enters the fray, opening with her magma rock skill. Upon activation, Han Yanu summons a shower of countless magma rocks, each dealing 500 damage and capable of setting her opponent ablaze. The crowd below erupts in awe. Whoa, this sorceress is the real deal, isn't she? Is Vu that already down for the count? Why isn't he fighting back? I thought this was going to be an amazing fight, but it's just a boring waste of time. Trongdich holds his breath, observing the battle. From every angle, it looks like Han Yonu has the upper hand, but for some reason, he can't shake a bad feeling. And just as he thought that, a massive explosion erupts on the stage. Trongdich is stunned. Both fighters have vanished. He's so shocked he can't even speak. What in the world was that technique Vu that used? He'd never seen anything like it, even in his past life. By the time the two reappear, Han Yanu is already defeated at Vu that's feet. The guy smugly twirls her scepter in his hand, looking extremely pleased. Trongdich immediately rushes onto the stage to help the beauty up. He consoles her, telling her she did a great job. As for that scepter, he swears he'll get it back from Vu, that in the finals. And Trongdich is a man of his word. Throughout the subsequent rounds, he relentlessly crushes one powerful opponent after another. His level skyrockets, and at last, he makes it to the final round. His opponent is none other than that smug mage, Vu that. A wave of whispers spreads through the crowd below. They can't believe a beast tamer actually made it to the finals. Many also recognize Trongdich as the very same guy who single-handedly slaughtered a horde of spiders right at the start of the game. This makes the match even more highly anticipated. Vu. That, of course, maintains his arrogant posture and his usual trash-talking. The moment he faces Trongdich, he opens his mouth to provoke him. Kiddo, you look like you really want to settle a score with me, huh? There's nothing I hate more than a thief. Vu. That slams the scepter on the ground, causing the earth to rumble and shatter. The mage just cackles maniacally. If you want it, come and take it. After the tremors subside, it feels as if Trongdich has been transported to another dimension entirely. The arena is gone. The spectators are gone. It's just him and Vu. That, face to face. Trongdich can vaguely hear the audience complaining from the outside. What's happening? Did they disappear again? What gives? Is he using the same move twice? Hey, at least let us watch the fight. Are you treating us like we're invisible or something? Trongdich finally understands why Han Yanu vanished earlier. It turns out Vu that created a separate dimension. This is his legendary grade talent, called the Realm of Inaction. When activated, it creates an isolated space. It traps an opponent inside for 5 minutes. Within this space, its creator gains a 30% boost to all damage. You can't win against me in here, Vu, that declares, with absolute confidence, because in this space, every death consumes a revive charge, just like on the outside. And even if you revive, you'll just end up right back in here. There's no escape. Trongdich wants to strike first and seize the advantage. He goes on the offensive, but there's absolutely no opening to get close to Vu. This means he can't copy the guy's talent. And Han Yanu's spirit summoner is useless in this dimension too. After dodging for a bit, Vu that lets out a cold snort, mocking Trongdich for being an idiot who'd rather do things the hard way. He then attacks with a shadow arrow, instantly wiping out 700 of his health. Trongdich grinds his teeth in frustration. His opponent used a basic spell, and it already cost him a third of his health bar. At this rate, he won't even survive 2 more hits. But just then, a bold idea strikes him. If he dies in this space, he'll just revive right back here. With that thought, Trongdich turns his dagger on himself. He stabs himself in a single motion, right before Vu that's astonished eyes. Since Trongdich still has 1 revive left, he immediately comes back to life. But his brilliant idea was to then use Spirit Summoner to summon the very corpse of his former self. Are you messing with me? Vu that shouts in disbelief. Messing with you? I'd gladly sacrifice a revive to make sure you don't get away with this. Now, there are 2 Trongdichs. He then summons a swarm of crows to disrupt Vu. That's casting. The guy would need 3 heads and 6 arms to deal with this. As time ticks by, the dimension Vu that created is about to collapse, and he's getting more and more desperate. Vu that is beaten to his knees, but the guy still refuses to surrender. Taking advantage of a moment when Trongdich is distracted, Vu that summons a black sword and tries to stab him in the back. Fortunately, the spectral Trongdich, summoned by the Spirit Summoner, takes the hit for him, and though the clone disappears, Vu that is now almost out of health. This only makes Trongdich even more furious. His fists show no mercy, beating Vu that until he's screaming for his mommy. The dimension's time was up, and it finally shattered. But by then, the battle between the two had already been decided, and the audience hadn't even had a chance to see what happened. All they knew was that Vu that had been defeated, and everyone agreed the guy totally deserved it. After all, he was the one who arrogantly tried to steal a girl's weapon. Trong Dich became the champion of the first season's dueling tournament, hailed by the roaring crowd. He had shattered the stereotype that beastmasters are automatically weak. He was a man of his word. Winning the scepter back for Han Yanyu left her deeply moved. Trong Dich's reward was a treasure chest. Inside was a random piece of level 35, epic-grade equipment. This was perfect, as his level 20 Poison Fang gauntlets were starting to become obsolete. Trong Dich excitedly opened the chest and received a sword that combined the powers of ice and fire. With a weapon this good, it seems sacrificing that one revival wasn't a waste after all. Trong Dich shot a contemptuous glare at Vu, who was still lying unconscious on the ground. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because it's the apocalypse. I suggest you learn to be a decent person from now on. Trong Dich stepped down from the arena, only to be immediately surrounded by a crowd. He returned the scepter to Han Yanyu. He also took the opportunity to invite her into his guild. After all, she was looking for her brother, and having more people in the guild to help would probably speed up the search. For that reason, Han Yanyu obviously accepted, but right after that, the request to join Trong Dich's guild skyrocketed. Everyone wanted to join to be under the protection of a guildmaster as powerful as him. Overwhelmed, Trong Dich had no choice but to grab Han Yanyu's hand and make a run for it. This was the first time he'd ever been chased by such a large crowd. Anyone who didn't know what was going on might have thought he was being chased down by loan sharks. As for the guild, Trong Dich felt he shouldn't just add people carelessly. For now, he was still missing a dedicated healer, but he figured the three of them himself, Doan Fong and Han Yanyu, were probably strong enough to clear the Dragon Emperor's tomb. While he was lost in thought, a man suddenly appeared beside him out of nowhere. Trong Dich instantly went on high alert, stepping protectively in front of Han Yanyu like a mother hen guarding her chick. "Who are you? What do you want? Huh? Thonlong, what are you doing here? Where's my brother?" Han Yanyu suddenly spoke up from behind him, her voice filled with surprise. In that moment, Trong Dich felt like a complete idiot. It turned out this man was an acquaintance of Han Yanyu. Before leaving on business, her brother had instructed Thonlong to protect his little sister. Conveniently, this meant Thonlong would be joining them for the Dragon Emperor's tomb dungeon. When the three of them arrived at the dungeon entrance, Doan Fong was already there, waiting. "Not bad. I haven't seen you for a little while, and not only have you won the championship, but you've also found two strong teammates." Doan Fong praised him admiringly. "You're in a great mood. Don't tell me you've leveled up again?" Trong Dich started praising him right back. The two of them just stood there, patting each other on the back. With the four-person party successfully formed, they began to enter the dungeon, but none of them knew that their every move was being watched by a mysterious figure. They're about to enter the dungeon. You can tell the boss to come now. The four of them stepped into the dungeon. In the first corridor stood 2 rows of meticulously carved soldier statues that looked incredibly lifelike. But after observing them for a moment, Han Yanyu felt that something was off. The eyes hidden behind the soldiers' helmets seemed to be glowing. Before she could even voice her suspicion, the stone exterior covering the statues began to crumble away on its own. Trong Dich immediately signaled for his teammates to fall back. It was clear now, these 2 rows of soldiers were all monsters. Doan Fong, as the knight, would fight on the front lines. Trong Dich and Han Yanyu stood in the middle to provide support, with Thonlong, the archer, covering the rear. The 4 of them charged into battle, but Doan Fong didn't even consider these monster soldiers a real threat. He saw them as nothing more than walking XP farms. Trong Dich also charged forward fiercely. This was the perfect opportunity for him to test out his new weapon and see how it handled. The fight appeared to be completely one-sided. The 4 of them coordinated seamlessly, taking down enemies with ease. That is, until a knight on horseback appeared, wielding a flaming sword. He shot a cold glare at Trong Dich's party, then spurred his horse, charging toward them at full speed. The moment Doan Fong saw him, he knew this enemy was no pushover and immediately activated his protective sword skill. He then quickly summoned a sword formation. All enemies trapped inside the formation instantly took 3,000 physical damage. The soldiers were all sent flying, and even the knight on the white horse was knocked from his mount. Doan Fong's sword slashes lit up the area. After wiping the floor with them, he coolly sheathed his sword, like Roronoa Zoro. However, though the white horse was dead, the knight in bright red armor had survived. He pointed his sword to the sky and, with all his might, screamed, "Awaken, Lord Gula." Meanwhile, at the Eternal Tower, the entire battle of Trong Dich's party was being broadcast live on a massive screen. A middle-aged man and his subordinate were watching intently. The woman noticed her master was extremely interested in that young beast tamer, and the man didn't deny it, because he saw a familiar shadow in Trong Dich. Perhaps I'm mistaken, because that person is long gone. Years ago, this very man had thrown that person into a bottomless chasm, letting the flames consume them so they could never be reincarnated. And if I'm not mistaken, that person was Trung Dic's father. Seeing Trung Dic's party breezing through the dungeon, the man flashed a treacherous smile. Looks like I'll have to raise the difficulty for you all. And after the man pulled some strings, the difficulty truly did increase. Summoned by the red-armored knight, the Dragon King Gula appeared. Moreover, it absorbed the power from its fallen minions to level up. A level 2 Dragon King was something Trung Dic had never experienced, even in his past life. But with great danger comes great opportunity. If they could defeat this level 2 Dragon King, the monster egg it dropped would surely be even rarer. However, defeating it was another problem entirely. Under the rampaging dragon's furious assault, all 4 of their health bars dropped rapidly. Thon Long knew that if this kept up, none of them would make it out alive. Trung Dic immediately ordered his teammates to scatter, telling them to run in different directions to avoid the Dragon King's attacks. Then, he borrowed Duan Fong's protective sword to desperately hold it off. That raging dragon was certainly worthy of being a tough dungeon's boss. It continuously breathed fire, while its limbs thrashed about wildly. The surroundings quickly turned to rubble. Even the soul sword that Duan Fong was so proud of was about to shatter. Just one more blast of fire from that dragon, and the protective sword would be destroyed. Leave the rest to me. Trung Dic dashed forward, taking advantage of the moment before the Dragon King could launch its next fire breath. According to his memories from his past life, the raging dragon's eye was its weak spot. As soon as Than Long received this information, he rushed in right after him. He drew his bow, aiming precisely at the dragon. This was no ordinary arrow, it was tipped with a tranquilizer. On impact, it could knock an opponent unconscious for 4 seconds. Than Long fired his shot straight into the Dragon King's right eye. The dragon reeled backward, no longer having the strength to even struggle. It had entered a weakened state. In this condition, any attack it received would deal 100% increased damage. Trung Dic seized the opportunity. He charged forward, his 3 teammates providing full support from behind. This was their only chance to turn the tables. Their seamless coordination began once more. First, Han Na Nu used her spell, Howling Icewind, to freeze the dragon solid. From behind, Thon Long and Duan Fong unleashed a relentless barrage of arrows and sword strikes. But the most crucial part was still Trung Dic. As he got extremely close to the dragon, he changed the attribute of the sword in his hand to ice. Then, he decisively brought it down in a powerful slash against its weakest point. Just like that, the level 2 Dragon King was vanquished by the party of 4. A ton of items dropped, from armor and leg guards to swords. Their quality was dazzling enough to blind Trung Dic, but he left all that gear for his teammates, because the only thing Trung Dic needed was that monster egg. While the group was busy looting, a gang of strangers suddenly stormed into the castle. The moment they appeared, they launched a swift attack. Their target, Trung Dic, watch out. Thon Long shouted, then rushed forward, using his own body to shield Trung Dic. Duan Fong and Han Nan Hu quickly closed in, but Thon Long had already taken a fatal hit. Trung Dic was still stunned, unable to process what was happening. Where did these people come from? Why were they attacking? And more importantly, why would Than Long take the hit for him? You once saved the young miss's life. I'm repaying that debt on her behalf. Thon Long's body began to fade away. He could still be revived, so he would return to the fountain in Hopetown first. Before completely disappearing, Thon Long didn't forget to threaten Trung Dic, saying if he dared to let Han Nan Hu get hurt, he would never forgive him. Trung Dic gritted his teeth, pure rage clouding his mind. He had just finished a grueling dragon fight and hadn't even finished collecting the loot before getting ambushed. Who are you people? Why did you ambush us? Trung Dic roared, drawing his sword, ready for battle. In response, the group all broke into smiles, every single one of them as treacherous as the next. Trung Dic, I told you, didn't I? The day would come when I'd make you pay double. Today is the day you pay your debt. I wondered who it was, but it's just an old acquaintance. The young master himself has come to settle the score. La Thon Trach, it's you again. Trung Dic was sick of the sight of this guy's face. Duan Fong's hand was already on his sword, but Trung Dic stopped him. This is my personal grudge. I want to handle it myself. But first, there's something else I need to do. Zhang Yi cuts his own palm, then drips the fresh blood onto the magical beast egg. A majestic aura immediately erupts from it. Zhang Yi can clearly sense this is an egg of the dragon clan. It seems his luck hasn't run out yet. This is the rarest type of magical beast in this apocalyptic world. Without any further hesitation, Zhang Yi uses his blood as a medium to form a contract with the beast still inside the egg. After the contract is established, the eggshell begins to crack. A tiny dragon appears, looking utterly harmless as it trembles. Zhang Yi, Duanfeng, and Han Yaru are all completely stunned by this situation. "Are all you beast tamers pets this harmless looking?" Duanfeng asks with a look of doubt. Meanwhile, after 2 seconds of shock, Lu Chengze bursts out laughing at the little dragon that looks just like a toy. He feels like he could crush it with a single hand. But the dragon, though small, has its pride. Being mocked the moment it was born sends it into a blazing rage. Lu Chengze just keeps laughing boisterously, relentlessly mocking Zhang Yi's beast for being a complete joke. As a result, the baby dragon opens its mouth and spits out a massive flame. Several of Lu Chengze's subordinates are instantly incinerated into ash. Only he and one other survivor are left, and they flee for their lives. Even Zhang Yi can't believe this harmless-looking beast possesses such powerful offensive capabilities. He picks it up and places it on his shoulder. Then he turns to Duanfeng's group and says, "We're done here. Let's head back. It's a shame we let their leader get away. Who were those people anyway?" Han Yaru can't hide her curiosity. Lu Chengze is someone Zhang Yi is all too familiar with, but the men he brought with him were truly strange. They were all dressed in bizarre outfits, looking very much like members of the aberrant tribe. He just doesn't know how Lu Chengze managed to bring them here, not to mention the strange markings on their bodies. He has no idea what they mean, either. The three of them return to Hopetown together, where Qinglong is already waiting. He's extremely excited to see that Zhang Yi has brought back a little one. Qinglong wants to pet it a little, like he's patting a dog, but this little dragon has a fierce temper, and its scales immediately bristle up. It looks like it's about to breathe fire again. Just then, the system issues a new alert because a player from Area 886 has eliminated the greedy Dragon King, Gula, of the hidden dungeon in the Dragon King's tomb. As a world boss and Gula's comrade, the Golden Skeleton General will be arriving at Hopetown ahead of schedule. Will all players in Area 886 please prepare yourselves? Zhang Yi is shocked. He never imagined that them clearing the hidden dungeon would cause the world boss to arrive early. This is completely different from the events of his past life. The moment the announcement ends, a strange phenomenon begins to unfold in the sky. Dark clouds start to swirl, forming what looks like a hurricane. And in the center of the storm's eye, there's a light so blinding that no one dares to look at it directly. The baby dragon on Zhang Yi's shoulder is so terrified that it presses itself against his neck, trembling uncontrollably. Even Han Yaru can feel the suffocating pressure. What in the world is the Golden Skeleton General? Its appearance alone is causing such a huge scene. Is it really that strong? Extremely strong, Zhang Yi replies. This is already giving me a headache. In his past life, this skeleton single-handedly destroyed half of Hopetown, and 60% of the players died at its hands. With it appearing so early this time, he's afraid his level isn't high enough to deal with it, but only by completing the quest to defeat the Golden Skeleton General can he unlock the new City Lord status, and only then will he have a chance to find the traitor, Mu Chen. In another part of the world, a mysterious character makes his debut, looking like some young master or another powerful figure. His subordinate has just brought back 2 magical beast eggs, but this man doesn't seem happy because one of them is missing. His subordinate doesn't dare hide the truth and reports that a beast tamer from Area 886 had defeated the Dragon King first. He was the one who took the final magical beast egg and even formed a contract with the black dragon that hatched from it. Upon hearing this, the mysterious figure smiles sinisterly. Area 886, you say? How interesting. All right, you are all dismissed. With that, he takes the 2 magical beast eggs and steps into his room. And what an overwhelming sight it is. Inside that room are countless other magical beast eggs, all arranged in perfect order. The Golden Skeleton General makes an incredibly dramatic entrance. It is, in fact, a giant skeleton. The skeleton and Gula were close comrades. Today, it has come to avenge its best friend. From all around the skeleton, countless fireballs rain down upon the earth like meteors. And wherever they land, lower-level undead spirits begin to appear. The situation quickly descends into chaos. The players in Hopetown are in an absolute panic. The skeleton is a level 50 world boss. For it to appear this early in the game, isn't the system just trying to wipe them out? But with great risk comes great opportunity. If they manage to defeat the skeleton, their levels would surely skyrocket, and they could loot countless top-tier items as well. After the skeleton's incredibly dramatic debut, the system officially sends a message to all players. The players received information about the mission. They had to stop the skeleton from invading Hope Town. The one who landed the final blow and the 3 who dealt the most damage would receive massive rewards, including experience, gold, and S-rank equipment. But if this mission failed, every single player in Zone 886 would die. S-rank equipment was incredibly rare. This reward truly stirred Zhang Yi's heart. If he didn't act now, when would he? He immediately gathered Duan Feng's group to start planning their strategy. First, he instructed them to maintain a distance of over 100 meters from that monster. Since the skeleton moved very slowly, staying in that range would keep them safe from its attacks. Zhang Yi assigned Duan Feng to clear out the mob of minions. He, along with Qing Long and Han Yanyu, would directly attack the boss. A fierce battle quickly broke out. Although the Golden Skeleton's minions were just small fry, their combat power was vicious. They had already beaten countless other players to within an inch of their lives. Luckily, a petite girl who knew healing arts stayed behind to help. Otherwise, many people would have already kicked the bucket. What's more, this mob of undead minions knew how to support each other in their attacks. Seeing this, Zhang Yi urged Duan Feng to quickly disrupt their formation. If those minions formed a battle array, it would be disastrous. Duan Feng nodded and charged forward, dual-wielding his swords. These minions might be able to give regular players a hard time, but he was the #1 knight. He wasn't such an easy target. Duan Feng quickly smashed those skeleton minions to pieces, but his group's standout performance made countless other players burn with jealousy. Those guys secretly contacted the leaders of other guilds, unwilling to let Zhang Yi's group just walk away with the reward. "You rotten brat, how dare you show off like this? I'll teach you a lesson." A hooded man, leading countless followers, began to approach Zhang Yi. Even though he was busy fighting monsters, he could still feel someone behind him plotting something. But before he could even react, Zhang Yi was ambushed. When he turned around, he saw those bastards already lined up in formation. Clearly, they were trying to use their overwhelming numbers to force Zhang Yi to give up on the Golden Skeleton. "You moron, did you really think you could defeat the Golden Skeleton all by yourself? Not only are you useless, but you're also getting in our way." The man in the lead spoke mockingly. He clearly didn't think Zhang Yi was worth a damn. Zhang Yi had no idea where these people came from or which guild they belonged to be so arrogant, but he didn't have time to argue with them. If they wanted the reward, they should rely on their own strength. "Isn't the boss right in front of you?" Though his mind told him not to argue, his trash-talking mouth just couldn't help itself. The skeleton, standing to the side, found it extremely irritating to watch these humans bickering in front of it. In its eyes, all creatures labeled human were foolish and unworthy of life. It let out a long, savage laugh and raised its weapon. "If you're all in such a hurry to be reincarnated, then allow me to send you on your way." The golden skeleton swung its weapon down decisively, and the world seemed to tilt. The low-level players were all sent flying. Zhang Yi realized he had been wasting his breath arguing with those strangers. He quickly returned to the battlefield, but he wasn't advancing alone. At some point, that petite healer girl had started moving alongside him. "I saw your team was short, a healer, so I stayed. I think I can be of help." Zhang Yi was stunned for a few seconds, then thanked the girl. But the very next second, Qinglong's terrified scream nearly made Zhang Yi log out from shock. It turned out Han Yanu's left leg was trapped, and the skeleton, carrying its giant sword, was slowly approaching. If she couldn't maintain a safe distance from it, Han Yanu would surely die. Seeing the beautiful woman on the verge of death, Zhang Yi's face instantly turned pale. The skeleton had gotten very close to Han Yanu. She was already within its attack range. "Stop struggling, little human. Death is your only home now." It raised its sword, and it seemed as though the giant blade would slice Han Yanu's slender body in two. But in that decisive moment, she was saved. This time, the hero who saved the damsel wasn't Zhang Yi, but another, more elegant man, who was even more handsome than Zhang Yi by several degrees. "Little Nu, you should rest. Leave the rest to me." It was unclear what their relationship was for this man to call Han Yanu so intimately. The skeleton raised an eyebrow, then laughed. So, another clueless brat had come to offer up his life. It hadn't even used a third of its strength yet, so naturally, it didn't give the man before it a second thought. On the other hand, the man wasn't afraid in the slightest. In fact, he wanted the skeleton to use its full power, so he could see just how formidable a so-called world boss could truly be. The man gripped his greatsword firmly, then launched himself, darting through the air. His blade was as fast as lightning, continuously slashing at the skeleton's body, as if he were trying to fillet the monster. Too bad it was just a pile of dry bones with no flesh. This flurry of slashes dealt 50,000 damage to the golden skeleton, but the creature was tough. It still had another 150,000 health left. Seeing that the man had used all his techniques and only taken a quarter of its health bar, the skeleton let out a triumphant laugh. It felt like that last flurry of attacks was nothing more than a tickle. The monster's crisp laughter only fueled the man's fighting spirit. Don't get too cocky. That was just the warm-up. He then ripped off his dapper suit, revealing a chiseled physique. In exchange for my fresh blood, please grant me even greater power. The man had entered his berserker form. This was a special combat mode for the warrior class. Once activated, he would lose 1% of his health every second, but his strength would increase by 10%. The man charged toward the skeleton, wielding two great swords. Under his ferocious assault, the monster's health began to drop significantly. What's wrong? Had enough yet? The man asked the skeleton with a smug look, his tone dripping with provocation. This time, the world boss was truly enraged. It had never been humiliated like this by a mere human. The golden skeleton composed itself and gripped its own blade tightly. It swore it would make the man pay for his arrogance. The guy was tiny compared to the monster, but he remained remarkably calm as he faced it. The two blades in his hands moved unpredictably, both attacking and defending against the opponent's onslaught. But the difference in size and strength was apparent from the start. Combined with the fact that the world boss was now enraged, its attacks became even more vicious, and the man was quickly pushed onto the defensive. Trongdish watched from the side, not daring to blink, for fear of missing a crucial moment. He was deeply concerned about the situation because the man was relying on burning through his own health to gain immense power. But now, his health was already low. The slightest mistake would be fatal. And just as Trongdish feared, the worst happened. The golden skeleton gathered all its strength and unleashed a critical blow. The man's health plummeted, quickly dropping all the way to 1. But strangely, not only did he not die, but his vitality and spirit were still overflowing. Keep going. I can take a little tickle like that all day long. The man continued to use his trash-talking skills to provoke his opponent, which, as expected, drove the skeleton insane with rage. The fact that he was still alive and kicking was clearly related to his talent. This man also possessed a god-tier talent card, which had granted him the Body of Immortality. Its user becomes invincible for 60 seconds, gaining immunity to all damage while it's active. The cooldown was 24 hours. The skeleton couldn't believe it was losing to a human, and it swung its blade with crazed fury. A normal person would have been turned into a pile of mincemeat by now. But this man stood as firm as a mountain. Even Trongdish was starting to feel intimidated by him. This ability was just too broken. He could single-handedly withstand the golden skeleton's onslaught. The man let the skeleton attack him, waiting for its stamina to run out until it was gasping for breath. Only then did he reveal a sly smile. Now, it's my turn to strike back. He combined his two swords, turning them into a single greatsword. His body moved with the light, nimble grace of a swallow as he lunged forward. The blade decisively sliced through the skeleton's massive body. After that, he exited his berserker state, returning to his usual elegant self. Trongdish knew the battle was settled. The loot began to drop. The man caught a legendary item, the level 40 Ring of Death. When equipped, it increased all stats by 10 points and granted an additional skill. For every player killed, the ring's stats would increase by 50%. Trongdish gulped. That piece of equipment was just plain savage. It would be a huge problem if it fell into the hands of a malicious player. Remembering that this mysterious man had saved his team, he stepped forward to thank him. But unexpectedly, the man coldly brushed him aside, saying that he only helped Hanya Nu, not Trongdish's group. Before he could say anything else, Hanya Nu rushed forward from behind and threw her arms around the man. "Brother, where have you been all this time? Thon Long and I have been looking everywhere for you. Are you hurt anywhere?" Trongdish let out a sigh of relief. It turned out the man this beautiful woman was hugging was the brother she had been searching for all along. After the skeleton was defeated, the system sent a notification. A new city lord had been appointed. Hanya, Nu's brother. He urged everyone to quickly loot all the equipment dropped by that world boss and then move out. Hope Town was now a thing of the past. Zhang Yi's group happily collected their loot, all gold quality items. This was a massive haul. Plus, they could now head to Dawnbreaker City. This made Zhang Yi even more excited, because it was there he would find that bastard Mu Chen. Their party of 5 had just been joined by that petite healer girl, traveling with Hanya Nu's brother. They arrived outside Dawnbreaker City, a place that was the complete opposite of Hope Town. The oppressive and gloomy atmosphere was so thick it made you sick. The first things they saw were 2 towering, terrifying spires. Zhang Yi knew this was the demon suppression tower. It had a total of 100 floors, and only by clearing it would they earn the right to enter the Eternal Tower. In his previous life, he had spent 8 years in the apocalypse and had only managed to fight his way to the 50th floor. The demonic beasts inside the demon suppression tower were incredibly vicious, but the rewards were proportional to their ferocity, top-tier equipment, and combat gear. The higher the floor, the rarer the dropped equipment. In the distance stood the Eternal Tower, a place Zhang Yi had never had the chance to enter. Players could freely enter and exit the demon suppression tower to farm monsters. He was also incredibly curious about what secrets the Eternal Tower held within. But at that moment, on the highest floor of the Eternal Tower, that strange man was still monitoring Zhang Yi's group's every move. The smile on his face showed that he was finding this extremely entertaining. The real game has only just begun, kids. Just then, another group of players arrived, rushing and out of breath. They had heard the demon suppression tower was closing in a few hours, so they seemed to be in a great hurry. The demon suppression tower only opened once every 7 days. As luck would have it, Zhang Yi's group had no other missions that day, so he rallied everyone to go farm monsters together, hoping to at least claim the rewards from the lowest floors before it closed. Feng and the others didn't object. Seeing his chance, Zhang Yi acted friendly, slinging an arm around Han Yanu's brother and pulling him along. But in reality, he was just looking for an opportunity to copy his talent. And just like that, Zhang Yi pocketed his future brother-in-law's immortal body ability. The group walked up to the demon suppression tower. The only way in was through a solo dungeon. This meant that even if they all entered at the same time, they'd be split up to fight alone. Let's separate for now and meet back here later. The moment Zhang Yi finished speaking, Duanfeng bolted inside. What a heartless leveling machine. Wherever there were monsters to farm, he was guaranteed to be the first one to charge in. The others also entered one by one, each on their own path, continuously grinding monsters inside the tower. Zhang Yi quickly reached the 5th floor. Thanks to his little dragon's support, the fights were a breeze, and he'd already hit level 40. Zhang Yi calculated silently. At this pace, clearing a few more floors wouldn't be a problem at all. No sooner said than done, Zhang Yi fought his way up to the 7th floor. No one had set foot here yet, but the demonic beasts were no longer the pushovers from the lower levels. The one that caught his eye was the level 55 Demon Clan warrior, Xin. Zhang Yi was no stranger to this guy. He was once a commander who led the invasion of Dawnbreaker City, and his strength was immense. After his invasion plan failed, he was sealed inside this very demon suppression tower. The little spirit fairy appeared to remind Zhang Yi that there were only 3 minutes left until the tower closed, which meant he had to defeat Xin in that short window. However, what confused Zhang Yi the most was that Xin was originally the boss of the 15th floor in his past life. He couldn't understand why he was appearing on the 7th floor now. After his regression, strange things just kept happening one after another. Last time, it was the Skeleton King. This time, it was Xin. Looks like I'll have to be more careful. You dare ruin this king's meal. Then I shall have to make you my dessert. As soon as Xin locked onto his target, he charged forward. On the other side, Zhang Yi didn't show an ounce of weakness. My skin is pretty tough. Careful you don't break those old fangs of yours. The two clashed, both intending to tear the other to shreds. Zhang Yi's mini black dragon was a huge help. As soon as the fight began, it habitually spat out a huge flame that engulfed their opponent. But Xin just laughed maniacally. This bit of heat couldn't make him stop. On the contrary, it only sent the demon warrior into a greater frenzy. The fire burned for over a minute, but Xin stood there as if nothing had happened. Zhang Yi couldn't believe Xin was completely unharmed after being roasted for so long. He charged forward with his blade of fire and ice, while his opponent closed in with a powerful battle axe. When they clashed, Xin was barely injured, but Zhang Yi coughed up a mouthful of blood. His health instantly dropped to just over 20%. And at that exact moment, the system issued a warning that the demon suppression tower would close in 10 seconds. Players are advised to prepare to avoid any unnecessary losses. Zhang Yi leaned on his sword, gasping for breath. He had no idea why Xin's attack power was so much stronger than he remembered, causing him to get his ass handed to him this badly. But luckily, this torture was about to end. Hey! Zhang Yi stood tall, fearlessly pointing his sword at his opponent. I'm giving you one last chance. Come at me. The other guy thought Zhang Yi had definitely lost his mind. Daring to provoke him in this state, he didn't disappoint, charging forward, intending to rip Zhang Yi in half. But the moment his axe fell was the exact moment the demon suppression tower closed. The guy put all his strength into the swing, only to hit thin air. Zhang Yi had already been booted from the tower. "Hey big guy, no need to be disappointed. I'll be back to fight you again next week." He talked a big game, but once he was safely outside, Zhang Yi let out a long sigh of relief. He was lucky the time ran out, otherwise he would have been a goner against that demonic warrior. Don Fong's group had all made it out as well. But Han Nan Nu wore an extremely worried expression, because her older brother still hadn't appeared. Thon Long quickly comforted Han Nan Nu. "Don't worry, your brother's so strong, he probably won't be in any danger. He might have had something urgent come up and left ahead of us." Zhang Yi eagerly chimed in, helping her relax a little. Just then, a new quest arrived. It was a special mission called the Guild War. To promote interaction between the guilds, this war would take place in Energy City. The champion guild would receive a generous reward, a transportation artifact. This was one of the top-tier items in the game. While it was useless in combat, if placed correctly, you could make a fortune by charging transportation fees. And coincidentally, this very item could help Zhang Yi quickly find Mu Chen's location. With 4 hours until the competition started, Zhang Yi used his silver tongue to invite Thon Long and the female healer to join their trio. After all, they had already developed some decent teamwork over the past few battles. Thon Long had to protect Han Han Nu, so of course he agreed. And since the healer girl didn't have a team, she agreed in a flash. And just like that, Zhang Yi's God Hunt Guild gained 2 new members, Thon Long and Tu Jiao. Now, all the positions in their 5-person team were filled. Zhang Yi planned to put on a spectacular show that would blow the other guilds' minds. Back to Han Han Nu's brother, his situation wasn't nearly as good as everyone was making it out to be. Because even though the demon suppression tower had closed, he was still trapped on the 8th floor. What's more, the Han brother had encountered a human-shaped figure whose power was clearly nothing to scoff at. "Young man, you've come to a place you shouldn't have. Those who barge in here never return alive." Facing the immense pressure from this mysterious man, the Han brother could only try to stay calm. He attempted to probe for his opponent's identity. He wanted to know if the man was the guardian of this place or another player, but the person just replied coldly, "Neither," and then charged forward. The power he unleashed seemed to completely outclass Han Nanhu's brother. He was about to finish him in an instant. But on the other side, Han Nanhu's brother obviously wasn't just going to stand there and take it. His innate talent skill was immediately activated. First, he had to guarantee his own survival. Then he could look for a chance to fight back. The man only needed a single glance to recognize that this young man possessed a god-tier talent. For that reason, his attack, which was already in motion, came to an abrupt stop. The man leisurely sheathed his sword at his waist. Seeing this, the Han brother found it odd. "Why did you stop attacking me? I'm not in the mood anymore today." The man replied nonchalantly. "However, if you can keep our meeting today a secret, I can spare your life. Of course, as part of the deal, I'll tell you a secret about the apocalypse." A secret? The Han brother thought the man was trying to bluff him. But his serious demeanor didn't seem like he was lying. The man revealed that soon, a great calamity would befall this apocalyptic world. No one can escape it. Actually, there is a way to avoid it. But he trailed off, not revealing the method, leaving the brother to figure it out himself. After that, the man left, disappearing into the forest. Before he left, he also instructed Han Nanhu's brother that in 7 days, when the demon suppression tower reopens, he would be able to escape. Left all alone, the Han brother began to wonder. The moment that man saw his god-tier talent, he stopped his attack. Could it be that the apocalypse's calamity is related to the god-tier talent card? Back outside, Zhang Yi had already gathered his 5-person team, ready for the upcoming battle. They arrived at Energy City. Here, players wouldn't lose a life or drop any equipment upon death. The only penalty was losing 20% of the crystals received upon entering the city. The time limit was 4 hours. In the end, the organizers would rank the guilds based on the number of crystals they had left. The rankings would also be announced instantly. Crystals were distributed at fixed locations, and the spots with large crystal caches were guarded by powerful boss-level monsters. To collect them, you had to kill the monsters. To collect a lot of crystals, they had to go through the corpses of these magical beasts. Zhang Yi didn't rush into battle. First, he organized the strategy for this competition. They only had 5 people, a disadvantage in numbers, so they needed to find adjacent crystal holding points. That way, if one was attacked, the others could quickly come to their aid. Other than that, there were no other special instructions. After splitting up, they just had to collect crystals with all their might. Once the discussion was over, the 5 of them split up in 5 different directions and began to act. Han Ya Nu, Xiao Jiao, Qing Long, and Duan Feng each had their own strengths, and the low-level monsters were no match for them. Zhang Yi was also busy as a bee. With the dual ice-fire sword in one hand and the poisonous fang dagger in the other, he went to town on the monsters. Very quickly, Zhang Yi took down a large monster and captured a level 3 crystal mine. As for Zhang Yi's teammates, they had each captured a level 3 crystal mine as well. But with only 5 people, they ultimately couldn't compare to the East City Guild. Therefore, on the current rankings, his Asura Guild was only in 2nd place. Over here, Han Yanu had been targeted by members of the Infinity Guild, who were currently ranked 3rd. Their leader, Zhao Fei Ming, knew that the Asura Guild only had a total of 5 members, so the defenses at the crystal points were bound to be weak. His guild had 10 people, giving them double the manpower. So, they came up with a plan to attack multiple points at once to seize the crystals for themselves. And they put their plan into action. Zhao Fei Ming led several of his underlings and charged forward. They used wood-based magic to create large vines that bound Han Yanu tightly. "Who are you? Let me go. When my teammates get here, you're all dead meat." Han Yanu struggled but couldn't break free. Zhao Fei Ming let out a hearty laugh, thinking she had quite the big mouth. They had a lot of people, while Han Yanu was all alone. By the time her teammates arrived, she'd already be dead. He didn't have much time to waste chatting with her, so he ordered his team members to finish Han Yanu off immediately. The girl gritted her teeth, unwilling to give up, but her limbs were truly bound, and there was nothing she could do. Zhang Yi, who was busy farming monsters, also received the alert. He knew immediately that Han Yanhu was in danger, so he ignored the boss he was in the middle of fighting, instantly turning to leave. But seeing this, the boss monster tried to sneak attack him. Zhang Yi didn't even bother to turn his head, because his mini black dragon was all it took to neatly handle that disrespectful monster. Zhang Yi took out the golden battle boots he had looted from the battle with the Skeleton King. He tasked the black dragon with guarding the crystal mine, while he himself would go to rescue Han Yanu. With these golden battle boots, Zhang Yi's movement speed instantly increased by 100% for 20 seconds. "Han Yanu, don't be afraid. I'm coming right now." Fei Ming nonchalantly played with the dagger in his hand, spinning it a few times. He held the dagger to Yanhu's throat and laughed gleefully. "What a pity. Such a beautiful face. Didn't you say you had companions? Why can't I see even a shadow of them?" Fei Ming was about to ramble on when he suddenly sensed an unusual movement. Zhang Yi had arrived to provide backup. Fei Ming waved his hand and ordered his lackeys, "Get him." But Zhang Yi's movement speed was too fast. They couldn't even touch the corner of his clothes before being sent flying. Zhang Yi landed gracefully, walking right up to the guild leader. "So many of you ganging up on a single girl. Don't you have any shame?" Fei Ming was still defiant, retorting, "Who are you? You dare lecture me? And you dare touch my men?" The very next second, massive wooden logs suddenly burst up from the concrete. Fei Ming powered up his attack, roaring with a strained voice, "This is what you get for sticking your nose in my business. Die!" The powerful logs lunged forward to surround Zhang Yi, but he easily swept the obstacles away with a single stroke of his sword. In just an instant, Zhang Yi had rushed forward and closed the distance to Fei Ming. The man exclaimed in horror, "Damn it, he's too fast." Zhang Yi calmly spoke, "Your fate is to die by my sword." As Fei Ming's terrified scream echoed, the system interface unexpectedly appeared before Zhang Yi's eyes. System prompt: Player Zhang Yi has defeated player Zhao Fei Ming, receiving 500 crystals. After dealing with everything, Zhang Yi quickly went over to free Yanyu from the vines. He took her hand and asked with concern, "Are you okay? Did they do anything to you?" Yanyu stammered in reply, No, I'm fine. I'm glad you came in time." Just then, a figure walked over, clapping his hands. What a classic hero saves the damsel scene. The one who had just spoken was the leader of the Heroes' Pride Guild, Si Tu-yan. He greeted them with a smile. "Long time no see, Miss Han Yanu. I didn't expect we'd meet here." Tu-yan raised an eyebrow at Zhang Yi. "Kid, stay away from her. She's mine." Yanu quickly explained, "Ignore him. He's a scoundrel. He harasses me constantly in the real world too." Zhang Yi listened in silence, then, without a word, took Yanu's hand and tried to lead her away. Of course, 2DM wasn't about to let them leave so easily, drawing his sword and blocking Zhang Yi's path. "Hey Yi, how about a duel? If I lose, I'll give you 10 level 3 crystal ores." He narrowed his eyes with a dangerous look. "But if you lose, you have to hand over Han Yanu." Zhang Yi slapped his opponent's sword aside, his face etched with impatience. "Get out of my way. I have no interest in playing games with a flashy peacock like you." Feeling disrespected, 2DM roared in fury. You rotten punk. It seems you'd rather do this the hard way. You don't have the right to refuse me. The skill he unleashed was tenfold attack speed, a legendary grade talent. It could temporarily increase his attack speed by 1000%, lasting for 1 minute, with a 2-hour cooldown. Waves of sword energy shot towards the pair. Zhang Yi pulled Yan Yu back, yelling, "Watch out." The next second, he leaped forward to counter. He casually instructed the person behind him, 7-star slash. "After I deal with him, I'll get you out of here." 2DM sneered coldly. "Neither of you is going anywhere." He unleashed another ultimate move, sending a barrage of swords flying straight at Zhang Yi. Their speed was overwhelming, and the sword in his hand was sent flying. Zhang Yi was momentarily stunned, with absolutely no time to retaliate. These swords… Am I seeing things? Seizing the opportunity, 2DM rushed forward and ran his sword straight through Zhang Yi. He grinned triumphantly. "Sorry about that. I happen to have a legendary grade talent." Watching this unfold from the side, Yanu's eyes instantly filled with tears as she screamed in horror, "Zhang Yi." Suddenly, streams of blue energy appeared around Zhang Yi's body. This was his ultimate skill, Immortal Body. Zhang Yi's lips curved into a slight smile. "So sorry. But unfortunately for you, I have a god-grade talent." In various corners of the city, numerous battles were erupting. Back here, 2DM's sword hung in the air. Who would have thought that Zhang Yi could stop the blade with just one hand, even nonchalantly smirking as he did? 2DM's face paled as he stammered. "No, impossible." He desperately tried to push the sword's tip towards Zhang Yi, losing his composure and screaming, "No one can escape my sword." Clearly, 2DM had never encountered a situation like this before. His eyes widened in utter disbelief. Zhang Yi smirked mockingly. "Isn't your legendary talent supposed to be amazing? Go on, keep attacking." Provoked, his opponent immediately swung his sword, slashing fiercely at his body. But 2DM's strike did absolutely nothing to Zhang Yi. He roared in frustration. "Why aren't you dead yet? An illusion. This has to be an illusion." 2DM began to sense the danger, his eyes narrowing as if plotting something. The next second, he turned his head and shouted to his men behind him. "Where is everyone? What are you standing around for? Get out here, all of you." The moment 2DM finished speaking, a thunderous boom echoed from the base of a nearby building. Members of 2DM's guild appeared out of nowhere, following their guild master's command. "Get him for me." Zhang Yi looked at his opponent with a cold expression. "Is this what you call a fair duel?" So, there were people lying in ambush all along. Flustered and angry, 2DM retorted loudly, "Enough talk. No matter what, I'm going to beat you today." The men behind him got into formation and unleashed their skills in unison. But Zhang Yi wasn't the least bit fazed. He thought to himself, "Perfect timing. I was just worried I didn't have enough crystals. This saves me the trouble of hunting you all down one by one." The very next second, the group's combined attack rained down on the spot where he stood. As the smoke cleared, Zhang Yi was still standing firm. He laughed provocatively. "Not enough. Keep going." Seeing this, the members of the Ao Shi Kun Sheng Guild were startled. "What's going on? He blocked our attacks with just his body. His body is like a bottomless pit." Someone even exclaimed. "A monster. This guy is definitely a monster." Zhang Yi's lips curved into a slight smile as he launched his counterattack. "If you're not going to attack, then it's my turn." He unleashed his next skill, and a giant creature opened its mouth to breathe fire. Massacre Hell Dragon Flame. With just that single move, 2DM's health bar was nearly wiped out. He still had enough strength for some defiant last words. "Don't think you'll get the crystals just because you beat me. In your dreams." 2DM kept rambling. "The winner will definitely be the Ao Shi Kun Sheng Guild." Zhang Yi didn't want to hear anymore and decisively landed a punch right in his face. His opponent's health bar instantly dropped by 500. The system interface immediately displayed a notification. Player Zhang Yi has defeated player 2DM, receiving 1,000 crystals. Zhang Yi looked at his defeated foe, raising an eyebrow with a sneer. "I knew a guy like you wouldn't keep his promise." Just then, the sound of urgent footsteps echoed, getting closer and closer. Xiao Jiao ran over breathlessly, her face full of worry. "Captain, Yanu, what happened? Is everyone okay?" Yanu rejoined her teammates and summarized the situation. "We're fine. People from the Infinity Sect and the Ao Shi Kun Sheng Guild came to cause trouble, but Zhang Yi already defeated them." A while later, back at their base, Zhang Yi sat down on the floor. Joining his teammates to discuss strategy, he checked the announcement board, which displayed the guild rankings. The Arrogant Heroes Guild was in the lead with 25,000 crystals, while their guild was in second place with 15,000. Zhang Yi proposed a plan. With 30 minutes left in the guild war, they had to catch up to the Arrogant Heroes Guild before it ended. The only way was to use long-range attacks to seize the stronghold that the Arrogant Heroes Guild had captured. "We need a master marksman," Yanu said with a mischievous smile, looking at the person beside her. As it happens, Qinglong used to be a formidable professional archer. "Qinglong, want to give it a shot? With you, we can definitely do it." But at her suggestion, he just silently tightened his grip on the bow in his hands. Qinglong looked down and said hesitantly, "I'm sorry. I can't do it." In that moment, he was thrown back to a memory from his past. The commentator's voice echoed in Qinglong's ears. If Archer Qinglong's arrow just hits the 6th ring, he will win the championship. Although he was in the lead during the last finals, his final arrow missed, costing him the championship. Back then, he had told himself, "Don't be nervous. Last time was just a technical error. Don't be nervous. It was just a technical error." Qinglong's arrow was released, and the commentator spoke up. Whether he can make up for last time's regret all comes down to this arrow. But what followed was the commentator's disappointed voice. "What a pity. Archer Qinglong has once again failed on the final arrow of the championship." Qinglong stood there, drowned in the audience's criticism. What was that? How could he fail in the final round again? Some world champion he is. His mental fortitude is just too weak. He sat dejectedly in the break room, the crowd's shouting still ringing in his ears. "Have you no shame? Shooting like that is a disgrace. Do you even know how to use a bow? I could shoot better with my feet." Trash. Useless. Just retire already. Qinglong curled into a ball, burying his head in his knees. Maybe they're all right. I'm really not cut out for archery." But just as he was drowning in the insecurity of his past, a hand gently rested on his shoulder. Back in the present, loud explosions from the ongoing battles echoed throughout the city. Over here, Zhang Yi clapped Qinglong on the shoulder, offering an encouraging smile. "How can you say that? You're the most accurate archer I've ever seen. Don't forget, you saved all of us back at the Dragon Emperor's tomb," he reminded him, praising Qinglong's skill. "Even in such a critical moment, you were able to land a perfect shot right in the Dragon Emperor's eye." Zhang Yi was confident. To him, taking the Arrogant Heroes Guild's stronghold now would be a piece of cake. Sure enough, after hearing Zhang Yi's sincere encouragement, Qinglong's eyes immediately lit up. He pulled himself together. "All right, I'll give it my all." The rest of the team cheered enthusiastically in response. "Yeah, we'll do this together." Time passed, and the scene shifted to a quiet corner of the city. Qinglong stood on the rooftop of a building, drawing his bow, ready to fire. He locked onto his target at the Arrogant Heroes Guild's stronghold. With intense focus, Tu Yan's group entered his sights. The moment he had a lock, Qinglong's arrow shot through the air. He unleashed his ultimate skill, Yellow Dragon's electric chant. "Go, my arrow." At the stronghold, Tu Yan snorted in frustration. "I was planning to show off a bit for Han Yanu, but I can't believe that punk got in my way." His underlings immediately started to suck up to him. "Boss, once we take first place, that girl will see who's really superior." Another one chimed in. Yeah, it's almost over. There's no way they can surpass our crystal count." The very next second, a brilliant golden arrow shot out of nowhere, piercing Tu Yan right in the chest. His eyes widened in pain, and he stomped his foot in fury. "Damn it, again? Which bastard is shooting arrows all over the place? If I find out who it is, I'll turn them into a pincushion." Qinglong drew his bow again, a confident smirk on his face. "One down. Now it's your turn." With the first task complete, he grabbed his bow and leaped from the building to join his teammates in battle. Zhang Yi's group had arrived at the stronghold. He commanded, "Now is our moment to seize victory." At the same time, the system interface showed their guild holding 25,800 crystals, rapidly closing the gap with the first-place guild. Zhang Yi charged to the front lines, and with one precise slash, he scored, adding 200 crystals. Qinglong drew his bow, providing long-range support. At that point, there were 50 seconds left in the guild war. The crystal count between the first and second-place guilds was incredibly close. When there were 35 seconds left, Qinglong didn't hesitate and fired his arrow decisively. With 20 seconds remaining in the guild war, the system updated that the Peerless Heroes Guild was in the lead, with 31,500 crystals, with Zhang Yi's guild trailing behind at 30,000 crystals. Qinglong's arrow tore through the air, heading straight for the enemy group at their stronghold. The situation was growing desperate. 12 seconds were left in the guild war, and just as the clock struck, time was up. 0 seconds remaining. The final announcement rang out. Congratulations to the Divine Hunters Guild for becoming the champions of the Energy City Guild War. The system interface showed that the difference between them and the second-place guild was a mere 500 crystals. Zhang Yi didn't hesitate to praise his teammate. Qinglong, you're incredible. I told you you were the best archer out there. Yaru nodded in agreement. Brother Qinglong really is amazing. Just then, a member of the Peerless Heroes Guild timidly spoke up. Boss, we lost. The person next to him suggested, Boss, why don't we go and capture them right now? Tuyan immediately shut them down, gritting his teeth as he spat out each word. Get lost. You think I haven't lost enough face in front of Han Yaru already? You useless trash. The system delivered the items with a notification. These are your champions' rewards for this Energy City Guild War. Please accept them. Zhang Yi, who had been eagerly waiting, thought, they're here. The reward chest opened, revealing a wide variety of items inside. Zhang Yi picked out an item, tossing it in his hand. Finally, I've got a teleportation item. This will make getting around so much easier. Tu Yan then walked past him, a dark and furious look on his face. Just you wait. The alien race's divine guild has its eyes on you now. Your good days are numbered. Let's go. Zhang Yi didn't reply, just watching their retreating backs. Yaru, standing beside him, asked curiously, what's this divine guild and alien race he was talking about? Zhang Yi shook his head slightly. I've never heard of them either, but I think it might be related to that person in black from the Dragon Emperor's tomb. Sometime later, Zhang Yi was walking through an area with ancient architecture, with Qinglong at his side. A girl in a black cloak was silently following them. After a moment, she hurried past, bumping hard into Yaru's shoulder. So sorry, excuse me. The cloaked girl used that moment of contact to stealthily slip her hand toward Yaru's waist. She activated her skill, Sleight of Hand. A quick explanation. Sleight of Hand, level 5, is an exclusive skill for the assassin class. It allows the user to take one item from another player's inventory. In just a few seconds, the mysterious girl had succeeded. A small smile played on her lips as she quickly backed away. Qinglong frowned and called out, Hey, watch where you're going. You just ran into her. Zhang Yi turned to Yaru. What's wrong? Yaru quickly checked her inventory. A thief, the ring you gave me. It's gone. At the same time, both of their suspicious gazes shot forward. The person in the black cloak was already rushing to get away. Zhang Yi immediately knew something was wrong. He gritted his teeth. Quick, after her. In a flash, their opponent leaped onto a nearby wall. Zhang Yi rushed after her. Before disappearing, the thief glanced back, covering her mouth in a mischievous smile. Qinglong quickly caught up from behind, arriving just in time to ask, Did you get the thief? Zhang Yi stared thoughtfully at the lingering afterimage on the building and shook his head. No, she must have used a teleporter to get to Moonlight City. Qinglong looked puzzled. Moonlight City? Isn't that the main city of the alien race? Zhang Yi rubbed his chin, deep in thought. That's right. And the Divine Guild that Tu Yan mentioned is also connected to the alien race. Looks like I'll have to head to Moonlight City and investigate, he thought to himself. To upgrade my dragonic talent, I need reputation from all three factions. This is the perfect chance to earn reputation with the alien race, and I can also investigate Mu Chen's whereabouts in their main city. With his mind made up, Zhang Yi turned and said, You guys and Yaru should stay here for now. It'll be bad if Ba Huang suddenly returns and can't find you. Yaru naturally agreed. Okay, but you have to be careful going alone, Qinglong then added reassuringly. Right, you go on. I'll protect the young miss. Don't worry. Zhang Yi stared at the teleportation item in his hand, thinking, First, I need to set a teleportation point here. That way, I can use the item to teleport directly back next time. He then activated the device, saying, Please teleport me to the alien race's Moonlight City. The system responded, As you wish, brave warrior. In an instant, Zhang Yi arrived in Moonlight City. A system notification popped up. You have arrived. 100 gold coins have been deducted. He thought to himself, This teleportation fee is insane. 100 gold coins, gone just like that. Suddenly, a desperate cry for help echoed from a nearby corner. Help, help me. Zhang Yi glanced over, feeling a bit puzzled. It's this late at night. Why is someone screaming for help? Looks like Moonlight City isn't exactly safe. Over in an alley, a dark pink stuffed rabbit fell at the feet of a young girl. She watched as several weapon-wielding thugs closed in on her. She screamed in hopeless panic, Don't you come near me. A man named Wen Tai watched her reaction, raising an eyebrow with a smug grin. No. So, you think you can run? Keep running then. As his sword came crashing down, Diep Vu covered her head and screamed, Arr! But the pain she expected never came. Wentai's blade had been stopped by someone else. Trong Deech stepped in front of Diep Vu, knocking the man's sword away with a single strike. Wentai growled a warning. Do you have any idea what happens to those who cross us? Unfazed, he shot back. All I know is that you shouldn't be bullying a girl like this. A moment later, Trong Deech's sword shattered the weapons in their hands. Now, get lost. One of them cried out in panic. This guy's stronger than us. Let's run. With that, he rallied his cronies, and they all scrambled away in a flash. Trong Deech turned to the girl behind him. Why were they after you? Diep Vu muttered. Wasn't it just for kill-stealing a boss? And for that, they chased me across several maps just to hunt me down here. What a petty bunch. Trong Deech was a bit curious. Who are they? Why are they so arrogant? The girl puffed out her chest and scoffed. They're from the Divine Guild. Everyone in Moonlight City is afraid of them. Hearing this, he silently confirmed his suspicions. They really were from the Divine Guild. Their attire was the same as the people he'd seen at the Dragon Emperor's tomb before. Trong Deech didn't want to get any more involved. He turned to leave. You should head back. It's late, and it's not safe for a girl to be out alone. Hearing movement behind him, he frowned slightly. Why are you following me? Diep Vu looked up at Trong Deech with shimmering eyes, her voice filled with anxiety. What if those guys come back? I'm scared. He said nothing, simply turning to walk on, but gave a silent wave for her to follow. Understanding his gesture, Diep Vu happily skipped after him. I won't cause you any trouble, don't worry. I know Moonlight City really well. You look like it's your first time here, right? If you need anything, I can help you. Arriving at the Moonlight City Hotel, Trong Deech handed money to the receptionist. 2 rooms, please. He saw Diep Vu to her room, waving goodbye to her at the door. Back in his own room, Trong Deech flopped onto the bed, happily spreading his arms. Ah, a bed is still the best. Time passed, and as the room fell into darkness, the door was quietly pushed open from the outside. Inside, Trong Deech was already fast asleep in bed, his eyes shut tight. Diep Vu silently approached his bedside, a strange smile on her face. She pulled out a dagger, smirking victoriously. 10,000 gold coins are about to be mine. Diep Vu looked at the still sleeping Trong Deech and raised the dagger high, preparing to strike. She struck without hesitation, but Trong Deech suddenly turned in his sleep, and the dagger only plunged into the bed beside him. Diep Vu pulled the dagger out, gritting her teeth and thinking, You got lucky just now. Let's see you dodge this time. Before she could strike again, Trong Deech suddenly shot up and punched Diep Vu square in the face. As if delirious, he mumbled, Da, Mu Than, how dare you betray me? It was clear Trong Deech hadn't held back. Diep Vu collapsed, clutching her face in pain. Ow, that hurts so much. The man on the bed looked at her groggily, confused. It's you? Why are you in my room? Diep Vu immediately put on an innocent act, whining, I had a nightmare that those men in black were chasing me again. I was so scared. Trong Deech patted her shoulder comfortingly. It's okay, go to sleep. I'll protect you. As she lay down on the bed, he watched her intently, thinking to himself, leading me into a trap, step by step. Let's see what other cunning tricks you have up your sleeve. The scene changes to the next morning, as the two walk through the streets of Moonlight City. They stopped at a certain location. Trong Deech looked up. You said the Divine Guild is in the Moonlight Church? Are you sure? Diep Vu nodded, pointing ahead. I'm sure. I secretly followed them once before. They went to Moonlight Church and then just disappeared. A figure had been secretly tailing them. He stood behind her and muttered, This girl is gorgeous. Just then, a hand furtively reached out, aiming for Diep Vu's waist. But Trong Deech noticed in time and grabbed the man's wrist tightly. He was quite surprised when he got a clear look at the man's face. Mu Than. Mu Than's eyes widened in shock. Who are you? How do you know my name? Trong Deech didn't answer, his expression unreadable as energy flared up inside him. He punched Mu Than in the face with all his might. You're not worthy of knowing who I am. Mu Than was sent flying backward by Trong Deech's punch, his back slamming into a wooden stall. A crowd quickly gathered, whispering amongst themselves. Holy crap. It's usually Mu Than beating other people up. I can't believe he's the one getting beaten today. Someone even laughed with glee. The wicked get what they deserve. This is interesting, very interesting. Mu Than's face, covered in dust, looked utterly pathetic. He gritted his teeth and snarled, You suicidal bastard, you dare to hit me? Diep Vu glanced at the man beside her and warned, This guy's the top dog around here. You don't want to mess with him. Trong Deech couldn't care less, simply letting out a cold snort. So what if I hit him? Jang Yi thought, annoyed. You've got some nerve. First, you betray your friends, and now you're bullying the weak. Mu Chen stood up and drew his sword, a triumphant smirk on his face. Player Mu Chen has activated the skill, Stealth. His figure gradually faded as he raised an eyebrow and sneered. Kid, do you have any idea whose territory this is? I'm going to kill you today. As soon as Mu Chen finished speaking, his body vanished without a trace. Witnessing this, Zhang Yi was momentarily stunned. An assassin's stealth attack. It can completely conceal one's presence, hiding one's body in the shadows to deliver a fatal blow to the enemy. Suddenly, he sensed something, and a wary glint appeared in his eyes. Just as Zhang Yi predicted, in the very next second, Mu Chen's sword came slashing down. He quickly dodged backward, but the blade still grazed the side of his face, leaving a scratch. This again. He was instantly reminded of the last time this guy ambushed him, the feeling of a sword piercing through his body. It was still crystal clear. Zhang Yi's eyes widened. Those painful memories were resurfacing. He quickly pulled himself together. He silently made a vow. This time, Zhang Yi summoned his weapon, his focus razor-sharp, ready for battle. In that instant, he braced himself and unleashed a powerful swing of his sword. I won't give you another chance. Mu Chen was shocked. He couldn't believe it. How could he know the frequency and position of my attacks? He can't possibly see me. Zhang Yi stared at his opponent, his face cold. I'd remember every single one of your moves, even if you were burned to ash. He lunged forward and delivered a fatal kick to Mu Chen. The man couldn't react, able only to take the full force of the attack. Mu Chen crashed to the ground, the successive impacts causing his body to bounce before landing heavily. Zhang Yi walked over, pointing the sharp tip of his sword at him. Looking down, he mocked coldly. Weren't you the one who wanted to kill me? Come on then, let's see what else you've got. His opponent, still defiant, snarled, You! Who the hell are you? Mu Chen's mind was in chaos. What rotten luck. How did I run into someone so powerful this time? Zhang Yi had no intention of dragging this out. He silently raised his sword, his gaze ice cold. Go repent in hell. Just then, the ground behind Mu Chen suddenly liquefied, and a mysterious figure emerged. The person unexpectedly grabbed both of Mu Chen's arms. He pulled Mu Chen down with him. In a flash, both of them sank into the earth and vanished, leaving behind only strange black marks. Zhang Yi cursed under his breath. Not good. It's those people in black robes again. Damn it. They're trying to take Mu Chen away. He quickly gave chase. Where do you think you're going? A short while later, the scene changed to an ancient-looking building. Zhang Yi hid behind a wall, surveying the area. The dark figure disappeared here. This is it, Diep Vu said from beside him. This is the Moonlight Church you were looking for, the headquarters of the God's Hand Guild. She frowned, reminding him, It's very dangerous inside. They might have deliberately lured you in. Are you sure you want to go in? Zhang Yi had already made up his mind. He nodded in confirmation. I have a reason I must go in. She held out her hand, revealing 2 hallucinogenic pills in her palm. She spoke up. If you go in recklessly like this, you'll definitely attract the attention of the God's Hand Guild. I have a better way. Zhang Yi was surprised and asked doubtfully, You carry this stuff around with you? Diep Vu replied in a low voice. When you're out here alone, you naturally have to prepare a few things for self-defense. These are essential items. For traveling, targets acquired. Zhang Yi quickly grabbed 2 guards who were walking by. They struggled and yelled, What? What are you doing? Before they could break free from his grip, Diep Vu had already shoved the pills into their mouths. She shouted, Shut up and go to sleep. The guards fell into a deep slumber. Zhang Yi and Diep Vu quickly changed into their clothes, disguised as guards. Without a second's delay, the 2 of them walked straight into the church. Inside, a secret room of the Moonlight Church. Mu Chen groggily woke up. Where am I? A strange figure appeared before his eyes. The person laughed loudly. Feeling bitter? Getting beaten like that by some unknown kid. Mu Chen immediately grew wary, his brows knitting together as he questioned, Who are you? Why did you bring me here? The person didn't bother to answer. He just stood there, with his hands in his pockets, grinning mockingly. As a prisoner, you have no right to ask questions. Starting today, you'll stay put for me. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died. Zhang Yi, wearing the guard's uniform, casually walked into the church and called out, Hey, we're here to change shifts. You guys can go rest now. The 2 guards bought it completely. Great. We're dead tired. We really need to catch up on some sleep. One of them even gave a parting instruction. You 2 be careful now. Don't fall asleep on the job. They had only taken a few steps before they looked back. They were whispering something to each other. Suddenly, one of them approached Diep Vu from behind, startling her. Something's not right. It's not time for the shift change. Who are you 2, really? Before he could finish his sentence, Diep Vu waved her hand, releasing her power. A vial of hallucinogen. The two guards had no time to dodge and were hit instantly, only managing to utter a single word. You. Their poisoned bodies collapsed onto the floor. Diep Vu pointed to the passageway inside. The person you're looking for must be in here. Trongdich took off his mask and quickly stepped inside as instructed. Let's go in. But behind him, there was no movement at all. Confused, he glanced back, only to see that Diep Vu had already taken off her guard uniform and was standing silently at the door. She muttered in a low voice, "My mission is complete." As soon as Diep Vu finished speaking, she mercilessly slammed the door shut in Trongdich's face. The guards who had just collapsed on the floor were now standing up as if nothing had happened. One of them handed Diep Vu a money pouch. That was some great teamwork. Here's your payment. She tossed the pouch in her hand. She then casually turned and left. I forgot to tell you, mutual deception is a pretty normal thing here in Moonlight City. Diep Vu's build matched the thief from before, confirming Trongdich's suspicion. Just as I thought, she was also sent by the Divine Guild. He decisively threw the hat in his hand aside. He thought to himself, I'd like to see what you people went through all this trouble to bring me here for. The entire way was eerily silent. There was only the dim light from the torches on the walls. Before long, Trongdich quickly spotted several figures in the passage ahead. Jan crossed his arms and arrogantly tilted his chin. I'm more than enough to handle some scrawny monkey. The boss actually called all of you here too. What a waste. The man next to him slowly stood up. He retorted with a goad. The boss must have his reasons for doing this. If you think you can handle him alone, then you go first. Jan, who was naturally hot-headed, snorted coldly upon hearing that. Fine, I'll show you what I'm made of. Just stand there and watch how I crush him under my boot. He stood up. He strode forward powerfully, reached a hand behind his back, and swiftly drew his weapon. Jan wound up his shoulders and hurled the giant axe straight at his opponent. It spun through the air with a whoosh as he growled, "Eat my axe." The axe shot forward like a cannonball. It tore through the stone wall, leaving behind a long, scorched trail and a cloud of rock dust. Witnessing the scene before him, Trongdich couldn't help but be impressed. Such immense power. However, he was no pushover either, waving his hand to cast a counter skill, the crow summoning technique. A faint smile appeared on Trongdich's lips. After his skill had leveled up, the number of crows he could summon had doubled. Of course, Jan couldn't be defeated by a single move like that. He leaped up just as the axe was about to hit the ground. His hand shot out, snatching the axe handle in midair. The next second, Jan charged forward, swinging the axe straight down at Trongdich. You think you can beat me with just one move? Dream on. He managed to dodge in time, but his opponent had no intention of letting him go. He charged in again, unleashing a flurry of attacks. Trongdich quickly devised a countermeasure, drawing the sword at his side, while simultaneously changing its attribute. He then plunged the sword into the floor, and a wave of cold air burst forth. The ground instantly froze over, the floor turning white in a flash. Seeing his opponent's action, Jan's eyes widened in panic. Not good. He tried to stop his feet, but the icy floor was too slippery. Jan couldn't regain his balance, and immediately fell flat on his back. He staggered to his feet, his head spinning. Trongdich stuck out his tongue and taunted. Big guys like you never have a stable center of gravity. Enraged, Jan shouted, You cheated. Kolao, watching this scene, shrugged with a weary expression. The boss's arrangements were right after all. It's our turn to get on stage. Bangdoi nodded in agreement. I have no idea where he gets that blind confidence from. He ignored Jan. Standing nearby, he directly lunged forward to attack. Instantly, strips of bandages shot straight towards Trongdich. They wrapped tightly around his body. Trongdich was yanked forward, losing all control. He was stunned. With Bangdoi successfully restraining their target, Kolao didn't hesitate for a moment and immediately launched an attack. Bone Spike Barricade. Seeing the ball of sharp spikes hurtling towards him, Trongdich knew this was bad. Damn it, my body is completely bound. I have to break free. Fast. In that critical moment, he shouted a summons as a blue light flashed. Xiao Hei. A brilliant blue energy radiated outwards, covering the entire area. In the middle of the formation, Xiao Hei appeared. Bangdoi couldn't believe his eyes, exclaiming in shock, a first-order dragon king. How can an ordinary beast tamer possess such a powerful magical beast? Xiao Hei opened its mouth and breathed out a scorching flame, easily incinerating the bandages that held Trongdich. Bangdoi realized the situation was dire, clenching his fists and muttering, Damn it, I let my guard down, but he wasn't given any time to react. Trongdich tightened his grip on his sword's hilt as flames erupted, engulfing the blade. The flaming sword plunged straight into his opponent's chest. He roared, "Shatter!" Bang Doi collapsed. Trungdich casually remarked, "It's not that you let your guard down, it's that I'm just too strong." He walked over and patted his magical beast's head. "Xiao Hei, long time no see. I didn't expect to see you again. And you've already broken through to Tier 1. On the other side, his men were starting to get wary. He discussed with Yan, "What do we do now? We had no intel that this kid has a Tier 1 black dragon." His opponent replied with a grim face, "What else can we do? We have no choice but to charge in." They had no other option but to rush forward to their deaths. Zhang Yi, now holding the upper hand, stood beside Xiao Hei and unleashed his ultimate skill, Immortal Body. Yan's eyes widened at the sight before him, his body freezing for a moment. Zhang Yi coordinated with Xiao Hei and charged into the trio's encirclement. He spun around, swinging his sword in a fiery arc. "All of you, on the ground for me." Yan raised his axe to fight back, but he was far too slow. In a flash, Zhang Yi was right in his face. Yan's giant axe snapped in two. Zhang Yi and Xiao Hei moved in perfect sync, a sweep of the sword erupting in flames, sending the trio of opponents flying. In just a moment, all three of them were cut down by his blade, collapsing onto the floor. Just as Yan tried to struggle back to his feet, a figure appeared. "Yan, that's enough. You guys fall back." He wasn't ready to give up, trying to persuade the man. "Boss, just give me a little more time, I can definitely." Kahlo glared at him as a warning. "I said fall back. If you keep fighting, you'll be the ones to die." With their leader having spoken, Yan obediently complied, pushing himself up from the ground. He walked past Zhang Yi, still talking tough. "Our fight isn't over. The next time we meet, we'll settle the score." Zhang Yi glanced at him. "Not afraid of death, are you? Fine by me. I'm always ready." Kahlo couldn't wait any longer, quickly flashing a smile to start the conversation. "Zhang Yi, so, we finally meet," he asked with a fake smile. "This isn't your first time in the apocalypse, is it?" Zhang Yi was stunned for a moment. Who was this guy? How did he know about this? But on the outside, he tried to remain calm, as he replied, "What are you talking about? I don't understand at all." The man spoke leisurely. "All right, there's no need to pretend in front of me. Ever since you entered the hidden Dragon Emperor's tomb dungeon and obtained the demon beast egg, I've known." Zhang Yi was losing his patience. "I don't want to waste time with your nonsense. Where's Mu Chen? Tell him to get his ass out here." Kahlo didn't beat around the bush anymore, getting straight to the point. "In such a hurry to find him? Listen, I came looking for you today to propose a partnership. If you agree, the secret of you being a regressor will only be known to you and me. I'll even give you top-tier apocalyptic equipment and endless riches." As he spoke the next sentence, a hint of killing intent flashed in his eyes. "But if you refuse," Kahlo summoned two ferocious-looking demon beasts, shrugging as if he had no choice. "I'm very sorry, but you won't be leaving here alive today." In that moment, images from the past flashed through Zhang's mind. Yi thought in annoyance, "I can't stand this guy's punchable face." Then he stated bluntly, "If the equipment and riches you speak of are gained by bullying the weak, then I refuse." Upon hearing his answer, Kahlo said nothing. He let his actions express his feelings instead. He commanded his two demon beasts to charge. Zhang Yi felt a bit worried. "Damn it, I've already used Immortal Body. It's on cooldown right now, so I can't use it again." He secretly took out an item, calculating in his mind, "I don't know my opponent's true strength right now. Rushing into battle like this would put me at a disadvantage." He recalled his decision before coming to Moonlight City. He had to set up a teleportation beacon first, so next time he could use a teleportation device to return directly. Zhang Yi suddenly felt a sense of relief. Luckily, he had set up a teleportation beacon in Dawnbreak City before he came. At the very moment the demon beasts opened their mouths to unleash their attacks, he activated the item, the teleportation beacon. The demon beasts' attacks hit nothing but empty air, shattering the frozen floor into smithereens. Kahlo snorted coldly. "I'll let you go this time. You won't be so lucky next time." He glanced over his shoulder. "Now, do you understand why a complete stranger would want to kill you so badly? He's a regressor. You two must have had a grudge in the past." Mu Chen's jaw dropped in horror. Kahlo raised an eyebrow and continued, "Do you think he'll let you off easy?" Hearing this, Mu Chen was so panicked, he collapsed, his lips trembling anxiously. "What should I do? He's definitely going to kill me." Kahlo closed in step by step, manipulating the man before him. "Naturally, you strike first. You have to kill him before he kills you." With that said, he left, leaving only a single guarantee. "Don't worry, I will help you." A deep sense of irritation suddenly welled up inside Kahlo. "In this apocalypse, everyone must obey me. They must submit to me. I gave you a chance to live, and you didn't want it. Zhang Yi, you have to die." Meanwhile, Zhang Yi had successfully escaped, letting out a silent sigh of relief. That was close. 1 second slower, and that dragon's breath would have vaporized me. That guy's Tier 2 Dragon Emperor is no joke. Recalling that face, he rubbed his chin and fell deep in thought. Who is that guy? How does he know this isn't my first time entering the apocalypse? Could it be he's the same as me? While Zhang Yi was lost in thought, the system spirit appeared with a reminder. Your fatigue value is nearing its limit. Please proceed to a rest point to recover. He thought to himself, this trip to Moonlight City really took a lot out of me. I need to get back to the tavern and rest. If I don't head back soon, Han Yaru and the others will probably start to worry. The scene changes to the tavern. An attendant stated the price. You've selected the rapid recovery package for a fee of 20 gold coins. Zhang Yi accepted. Murmurs immediately rippled through the room. So luxurious. That's the first time I've ever seen someone spend money to recover their fatigue points. Who is this guy? Why do we have to sit here and wait? Aren't you supposed to recover by just resting? Someone even exclaimed in shock. Wait, a single recovery costs 20 gold coins? That's enough for me to buy a full set of gear. Zhang Yi, unaffected by the crowd, was thinking that he still had 13,000 gold coins to spend on upgrading his equipment. Elsewhere, Yaru's face was etched with worry. She murmured, "Why isn't Zhang Yi back yet?" Xiao Zhao, sitting beside her, felt the same way. She sighed. Yeah, I wonder if the guild leader ran into any danger. Zhang Yi suddenly appeared behind them, grinning widely. With my skills, I could take on an entire guild by myself and still have energy to spare. How could anything happen to me? Yaru looked up at him. You're back. The person next to her also cheered happily. Guild leader. Zhang Yi scratched his forehead awkwardly. Yaru, there's still no news about the Ring of Death for now. But don't worry, I will definitely get it back. She waved her hand in response. No. It's okay. As long as you're back safely, that's all that matters. It was my fault for not taking good care of it and losing it anyway. Xiao Jiao spoke up to ask. Hey, guild leader, have you seen Qinglong? Zhang Yi explained. I sent him out to gather some information. If that thief appeared in Dawnbreak City, he must have left some other clues behind. The sound of hurried footsteps approached. Without even needing to look, he knew who it was and smiled faintly. Speak of the devil. How did it go? Any news? Qinglong tried to catch his breath. Yes, I heard a very important piece of news, he recounted urgently. The auction house. The young lady's stolen ring is set to appear at the auction house tonight. A few faces quickly flashed through Zhang Yi's mind as he murmured, the auction house. If the Ring of Death is being sold as an auction item, does that mean the person who stole the ring might show up? Zhang Yi thought to himself, this would also be a good opportunity to buy some equipment from the auction house. I need to power up a bit. The next battle is bound to be tough. After thinking it through, he and his team set off immediately. They headed to the auction house to check it out. On stage, a female announcer spoke, Dear players, the once-a-month auction is about to begin. Inside, you'll find all sorts of rare pets and equipment of every grade and type. There are also rare and precious props awaiting everyone. Yaru looked at the person behind her, asking curiously, Huh? Aren't you coming in with us? Zhang Yi waved his hand with a casual smile. No, Yaru, you guys go on ahead. I have a little business to take care of. I'll be right in. He turned and walked in another direction, thinking that if he remembered correctly, there was a general store here. And on its secret menu, there were a lot of good items. Even in his previous life, very few people knew about this. After walking a short distance, he quickly saw the sign for the We Have Everything general store. Zhang Yi's lips curled into a faint smile. Here it is. Seeing a customer approach, the clerk greeted him. What can I get for you? Zhang Yi was still deep in thought. Although dealing with a ring thief wouldn't be too difficult, in a crowded and complex place like an auction house, making a big move could easily attract unwanted attention. It was better to be careful and prepare some necessary supplies. He looked down and recited the code phrase, 800 nights, no discount, and 1 fruit tart. As the words left his mouth, he inwardly cringed at how embarrassing it was. The other person smiled knowingly and replied, Hello, sir. I've enabled your access to the secret menu. Please, see what you'd like to buy. At the same time, a system notification popped up, congratulating him on the successful unlock, deducting 1,000 gold coins. Zhang Yi mused to himself. In my past life, only 5% of players in the apocalypse ever managed to unlock this secret menu. Although it's a bit expensive, the effects of these potions are far superior to ordinary ones. He told the clerk, I'll take all of these potions. The clerk beamed and replied, Sir, you have a truly discerning eye. The most valuable items in this shop are these very potions. You are the first person to discover them. Zhang Yi checked his remaining items and cried silently on the inside. I can't believe I just spent 4,000 gold coins like that. I'm so unbelievably broke. I hope this operation goes off without a single hitch. He returned to the auction hall, but suddenly felt puzzled. Why is it so quiet? Isn't this supposed to be an auction? Did I come to the wrong place? The staff on stage was smiling and introducing an item. The starting price for this goatskin scroll is 100 gold coins. Do I have any bidders? If there are no bids, we will move on to the next item. The crowd began to murmur loudly. Voices of discontent. Get this piece of junk out of here and bring up something useful. Many people chimed in. That's right. Isn't auctioning this stuff just a waste of everyone's time? Zhang Yi found a place to sit. He casually asked Yanu, has the auction for the Ring of Death started yet? She shook her head and quickly explained the situation. Not yet. They're currently auctioning off a parchment scroll of unknown origin. He was suddenly interested. Looking at the stage, he saw the staff member looking regretful. Well, this is a real pity. If no one else is going to bid, we'll have to move on to the next item. Zhang Yi was stunned. Holy crap, isn't that the hidden quest scroll for the dragon race? In his past life, the major families and guilds fought tooth and nail over this thing. With that thought, he quickly raised his hand. Wait, 100 gold coins. I'll take it. The crowd erupted in scornful laughter. The idiot has arrived. A classic case of more money than sense. Spending 100 gold coins on a useless scroll. This sentiment was met with widespread agreement from the audience. Exactly. Isn't this just buying a useless roll of toilet paper? I wouldn't even take it for free. It'd just be a waste of an inventory slot. The staff member was thrilled to see a bid. 100 gold coins, going twice. 100 gold coins, third call, sold. Zhang Yi received the item, completely ignoring the chatter around him. To you guys, this scroll is indeed no different from toilet paper, but for a player from the dragon faction like me, it's the complete opposite. Just wait until I unlock the dragon race's hidden quest and get my hands on the dragon inheritance equipment. You'll all regret this. The auction continued, with the system displaying the item's stats. The staff member began his introduction. This next piece of equipment is incredible. The legendary grade Ring of Death. Starting price, 10,000 gold coins. Someone immediately expressed their dissatisfaction. A starting price of 10,000 gold coins? Who can afford that? Another person disagreed, retorting loudly, Are you kidding me? This is a legendary grade item that can grow without limit. Besides, for such a rare treasure, who could even bear to sell it? Yanu was sitting not far away. She whispered softly, Hey, look over there. That side looks really strange. Zhang Yi followed her gaze. Dressed like that, they must be from the beast race's main city, Extreme Ice City. He observed the other party for a moment, unable to help but wonder. But why would the beast race come to the human race's main city, and with Situ Yan of all people? Yan Yu was full of admiration. Whoa, you even know that? That's amazing. Zhang Yi scratched his head and laughed sheepishly. Not at all. I just happened to look up some info on the beast race when I was choosing my faction. The person they were talking about suddenly stood up and declared, Everyone, I want this ring. I don't care what you bid, I'll just double it. I suggest you all save your breath. The crowd exploded. Someone exclaimed, Where did this whale come from? Is this ring really that powerful? Others expressed their regret. Looks like this ring and I aren't meant to be. Just then, a man jumped out and pointed a finger. Damn it, you're just a beastman. What right do you have to act so arrogantly in our human city? Wu Hen said nothing. He simply stepped forward and planted a fist squarely in the man's face. He asked in a cold voice, Now, do you think I'm qualified? The people around pulled the young man back, whispering warnings. Let's go. This guy is bad news. The man didn't back down, standing there clicking his tongue before commenting. He's ruthless. Zhang Yi stepped forward and clapped the young man on the shoulder, declaring loudly, Hey, as long as I'm here today, you can forget about taking this ring. Situ Yan seized the opportunity to whisper in his ear, Young Master Shui, that's Zhang Yi, the one I told you about with the god-tier talent. Since he's being so blind, you should teach him a lesson. As expected, Wu Hen was enraged upon hearing this. His hand clenched into a fist, daring to oppose our Extreme Ice City's Bloodgate. Even with a god-tier talent, the only path for him is death. Zhang Yi whispered instructions to his teammates behind him. Duan Feng, Qing Long, you guys go cause a scene. Try to buy me some time, the more chaotic the better. Of course, they wouldn't refuse his request. Qing Long grinned and replied, No problem. Duan Feng stood by with his arms crossed. He chimed in excitedly, Guild leader, causing trouble is what we do best. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately started riling up the crowd. Everyone, this is human territory. Are you just going to let these beastmen run wild here? Qinglong eagerly added fuel to the fire. That's right. If word of this gets out, how are we supposed to show our faces in Dawn City ever again? The surrounding crowd roared in agreement. Yeah, that's right. If we don't fight back, we'll be the ones getting beaten down. The crowd became a clamoring mob. I guess the lesson from before wasn't enough. Was it? Qinglong took the lead in declaring war. I've been annoyed with you for a while now, wearing a fur coat in this heat. Aren't you afraid of getting a heat rash? Duanfeng backed him up from behind. Enough talk. Let's get him. And just like that, the tension boiled over. The two sides crashed into each other. Son of a bitch, in all my years in this business, this is the first time I've ever seen someone ask for it. Let's dive headfirst into death. Bring it on. Who's afraid of who? Truong Dich poured the bottle of potion in his hand into his mouth. This was a high-grade invisibility potion. After drinking it, he would immediately enter a state of invisibility for 3 minutes, during which no one could detect him. Looking at the chaotic crowd, he took the opportunity to pull out 2 other vials, a high-grade smoke potion and a high-grade combustion potion. Truong Dich saw that the time was right. This was his chance. He threw the 2 potions into the crowd and pretended to shout in panic. There's a bomb! Everyone, be careful! The crowd descended into even greater chaos, grabbing and punching each other. Damn it, they're actually using explosives on us. Kill those beastmen. Truong Dich seized the opportunity, using his invisibility to sneak closer to the staff member holding the tray of items. No one is taking this ring today except for me. He took the ring without making a single sound, completing his mission smoothly. With the urgent matter settled, Truong Dich looked over at Voengan and Do Diem, a wicked smile spreading across his face. He was still in his invisible state as he walked up behind Voengan, thinking to himself, weren't you so arrogant just a moment ago? Now it's my turn to hit you. And just like that, without anyone noticing, Voengan suddenly fell flat on his face. Do Diem rushed over in a panic. Young Master Hewitt, are you all right? I'm coming. His target struggled to sit up, clutching his head and cursing. Which bastard has a death wish? Show yourself. Truong Dich switched his target and sneak attacked Do Diem, giving him a swift kick. I can't stand bootlickers like you. Do Diem fell backwards, landing right on top of Voengan. Who was it? Who attacked me? Voengan roared in frustration. Damn it, who wants to die now? I'm going to kill you. Just then, the system notified him that there were only 10 seconds left on his invisibility potion. Truong Dich had to stop. The invisibility potion is about to wear off. I have to get out of here quickly. I'll let you 2 off the hook for today. He activated his golden speed skill and vanished in a flash. Thonlong and Doanfong's group took advantage of the chaos to run over and give Voengan a few kicks. He was beaten black and blue, only able to scream in frustration. There's a person here, can't you see? Stop stepping on me, Do Diem wailed, tears streaming down his face. I'm a human, you've got the wrong person. The moment the invisibility potion wore off, Truong Dich had already made a successful escape. He sent a message in the guild channel. Mission complete, everyone retreat quickly. Meet at the alley outside the auction house. A short while later, all the members had gathered. Nyan Hu asked with concern, are you okay? You suddenly disappeared just now. I thought something had happened. Truong Dich held out his hand. Here, take a look. I got the ring. However, to protect players' items in the auction house, the Apocalypse system places a seal on every single item. He explained in detail that if any item is taken without permission, it will return to the auction seller's inventory after 3 minutes. The others couldn't help but feel disappointed. So everything we just did was for nothing? Truong Dich already had a plan. No, I'm going to use this very seal to catch the thief. In a moment, I'll be teleported to the seller's location along with the ring. Everyone was shocked as they set up a signal. The system simultaneously displayed a notification, teleportation signal established. Nyahu was ecstatic, praising him endlessly. You're so clever, to think you came up with a plan like this. Tiu Jiao also nodded in agreement. That's right, our guild leader is amazing. I knew I wasn't wrong about you. Truong Dich looked at the girl before him. The 3 minutes are almost up. Nyanu, wait for me to bring the ring back. In the next second, the teleportation signal activated, and the space around him began to distort. Truong Dich had already made up his mind. Today, I will definitely see your true face. Theoretically, due to the incident during the auction, the Ring of Death had been teleported back to its seller on the rooftop of some building. Diep Vu looked at the item in her palm with confusion. Everything was fine. Why did the ring suddenly come back? Could it be that those people caught up? If you looked closely, you could see the ring on her hand suddenly emitting a faint blue light. The next second, Chuangdich was teleported to her location. He laughed coldly. I knew it was you. Not only did you steal Nanhu's ring, but you also led me into a trap set by the Gods Guild. What exactly are you trying to do? Diep Vu applauded. I didn't expect you to escape from the hands of the Gods Guild. It seems you really have some skill. After speaking, she stuck out her tongue and made a funny face, clearly not feeling the least bit afraid. Chuangdich quickly gave chase. Hey, don't run. Give back the Ring of Death. You're going to give me a clear explanation today. Diep Vu taunted him as she fled. In your dreams. Catch me first, then we'll talk. Chuangdich focused on staying right behind her and quickly managed to grab her cloak. The black cloak fell away, revealing her appearance. Chuangdich shouted loudly, I won't let you get away so easily this time. True to his word, he closed the distance, coming face to face with Diep Vu. He was just a hair's breadth away when suddenly, a large axe was thrown between them, sending dirt and rocks flying everywhere. From behind a crumbling wall, Vo Nian had caught up, and he roared with rage. Weren't you a good runner? So keep running. Chuangdich thought to himself. This is bad. It's them. I forgot the beast tribe has tracking skills. From what he knew, they could hunt someone down from thousands of miles away just by detecting their enemy's aura. Vo Ngan, on the other side, growled in fury. You walked right into my trap. I was just looking for her to settle the score. I didn't expect you two to be together. Perfect. I'll take care of you both at once. Chuangdich glanced at the person beside him. Just how many people have you pissed off? Why do people from the alien tribe and the beast tribe all have a grudge against you? Diep Vu gave a strained smile. It's just a small misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. She hugged Chuangdich's arm coquettishly. Big brother. You're the best. Right? You wouldn't abandon me at a time like this, would you? He snapped back irritably. Who's your big brother? He was still holding a grudge. You tricked me and ambushed me before. You didn't treat me like a big brother then. Vo Ngan watched their interaction. The hot blood rushed to his head, and he directly unleashed his ultimate skill, Beast Tribe's Frenzied Rush. This is unacceptable. How dare you flirt right in front of me? You can die together. Huet Tu channeled his power, and a rhinoceros with a massive horn materialized and charged at Chuangdich. Looking back, the girl behind him had vanished, and he couldn't help but feel a little resentful. 1 second she's calling me her good big brother, the next second there's danger, and she runs faster than anyone. Huet Tu let out a loud, cackling laugh. You provoked me at the auction house. Sent flying, Chuangdich clutched his chest and gritted his teeth. He was horrified. Damn, that hurts. This big guy's attack power is insane. A beast tamer's base defense is just too low. To think I lost so much health in an instant. Seeing Chuangdich struggling, Huet Tu spoke again. Kid, I suggest you hand that girl over right now. Get on your knees and apologize. If you do, I might consider letting you live. Before he even finished his sentence, he charged again with his weapon, still running his mouth. I saw you two getting all touchy-feely with my own eyes. Chuangdich wasn't about to back down. He immediately shot back. Which one of your eyes saw us being intimate? You can eat whatever you want, but you can't just say whatever you want. Watch it, or I'll sue you for slander. Huet Tu looked like he was going insane as he roared again. I saw everything you two did just now, clear as day. He recalled what had happened earlier as he followed his senses. Huh? Why is there another familiar scent? It seems to be from that group of women who ran away. Seeing Chuangdich and Diep Vu acting intimately enraged him. Well now, getting cozy right in front of me. Did you think I couldn't catch you two shameless dogs? In Huet Tu's twisted mind, Diep Vu was flaunting her full chest right in Chuangdich's face. Thinking of this, a frustrated Huet Tu added, if I hadn't arrived in time, who knows what you two would have been up to? Chuangdich gave him a helpless look. I've really got to hand it to you, you sly old dog. Then, he channeled energy into his hand, and his sword instantly appeared. Chuangdich was now switching his attributes. He immediately leaped up, sword in hand, and slashed down hard at Huet Tu. Are you some kind of moron? After that attack, he lost 300 points of health. Vo Ngan looked at him with contempt. A cheap trick. This burn damage of a few hundred points. Consider it a gift from me. Immediately, he channeled his energy again and struck at Chuangdich. And of course, he dodged it with ease. Vo Ngan laughed in frustration and threw off his fur coat. He stared at Chuangdich with icy eyes. Next, I'll show you the difference between us. As he finished speaking, a powerful layer of energy enveloped him. Chuangdich was a bit panicked. He didn't understand what was happening. Their skills were clearly the same, so why was the damage he was dealing getting higher and higher? Vo Ngan laughed loudly. I forgot to mention, The lower your health value, the higher my attack damage against you becomes. He couldn't afford to lose. Truong Dich hastily chugged down a high-grade life potion. After drinking the potion, Truong Dich's strength increased significantly. Just as Huet Tu attacked, he was sent flying. Truong Dich asked condescendingly, "Out of steam already? Can you even keep up?" "You stopped after just a moment. Let's keep going. I'm more generous than you. Consider this 1,000-point damage a gift from me." Vong Gan couldn't believe his eyes. "How is this possible? Your health bar was clearly almost empty just now." At the same time, Diep Vu reappeared and told him, "Even with more potions, it's useless once Huyet Vo Ngan uses that move." Just as she said, he glared at him. "Don't think you're safe just because you have high-grade potions. The real fight is just beginning." Once again, he channeled his internal power, his aura flaring. With bloodthirsty berserk, his strength was continuously stacking up. The aura around his body radiated immense power. Truong Dich was startled. "Damn it, how is this guy's health increasing the more we fight?" Immediately, Vong Gan landed a powerful blow on Truong Dich. His health bar dropped significantly. Truong Dich was secretly amazed. To think the epic-grade talent, bloodthirsty berserk, could absorb the damage dealt by his attacks and convert it into his own health. Vong Gan looked at him like the Grim Reaper, holding a scythe. "Kid, today I'm going to show you the consequences of offending our blood gate." Truong Dich finished his sentence for him. And just like that, the original plan to use potions to wear him down became completely useless. He gave a faint smile and said, "Do you really think your bloodthirsty berserk is invincible?" Seeing Zhang Yi drink what looked like a buff potion, Wu Hen scoffed, ready to drink one himself. "Stop dreaming. No matter how many potions you drink, in the end, you'll just be absorbed by me." But Zhang Yi didn't care. He grabbed the vial and downed it in one go. The moment the liquid hit his throat, he charged forward, shouting, "Now, watch closely." Wu Hen wasn't one to go down so easily. He gripped his great axe and roared, "You still dare to defy me? Go ahead and try." As his weapon slashed through, he looked at Zhang Yi with scorn, mocking him for having a look of enjoyment while being hit, but there was no fear in the boy's eyes. Zhang Yi tightened his grip on the axe in his hand, which surprised Wu Hen and left him a bit stunned. "I think you drank the wrong potion. You've gone mad." Zhang Yi remained calm. "Don't you want to drain my life? Go on. I'll let you drain all you want." The moment he finished speaking, strange, sinister purple threads of blood appeared on Wu Hen's veins. He was startled. "This is... you! What did you just drink?" Zhang Yi explained. "It's a high-grade, virulent poison. Anyone who makes contact with it receives a debuff that drains 100 HP per second for 1 minute. The debuff doesn't stack." As he spoke, he held another potion out to him. "Want some? I've still got a little left." By now, Wu Hen was slowly slumping to the ground. Only then did he finally understand the situation. "I've fallen into his trap. He intentionally let me wound him, using my bloodthirsty berserk's lifesteal ability to get me poisoned." Wu Hen's health bar began to plummet, but he still tried to hold on. What are you so happy about? Your HP is lower than mine. You'll die before I do," Zhang Yi casually replied. "Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that." After that smug remark, he channeled his inner energy. Immortal body, activate. Wu Hen struggled, frantically chugging potions. The high-grade poison's debuff lasts for 1 minute. All he needed to do was use the damage immunity from his immortal body to survive that minute, and victory was his. Zhang Yi stepped closer to him. "Those potions of yours won't work. For every bottle you drink, you've already lost the health of 2. But I still have a high-grade one right here." Hearing this, Wu Hen lunged to snatch it. Zhang Yi immediately pulled it back. "You want it? Then you'll have to pay for it." His body ached more and more, and the constant drop in his health sent Wu Hen into a silent panic. He only had one revive chance left, one he'd risked his life to earn. You couldn't buy revives with money. You could only get them from survival quests, and who the hell knew when the next one would be announced? Out of desperation, he had no other choice. He gritted his teeth. "How much? I'll buy it." Zhang Yi was extremely pleased. He leaned close to his ear. "The original price is 150 gold coins, but since we're acquainted now, I'll give you a little discount. 50,000. Wu Hen was shocked to hear the price. 50,000? Are you out of your mind? 50,000 is enough to support 500 people in a major guild. 48,000. How about 48,000? That's all I have on me? Zhang Yi quickly agreed. All right, 48,000 it is. Wu Hen was so frustrated he could have cried. He agreed just like that? Why didn't I try to bargain for less? Zhang Yi was laughing inwardly. Making money off these dumb beastmen is way too easy. The moment he got the potion from Zhang Yi, Wu Hen immediately tilted his head back to drink it, but before he could, Diep Vu flew out of nowhere and landed a swift, painful kick right on his head. You really shouldn't piss off a girl. Diep Vu's face was filled with disgust as she looked at Wu Hen. Seeing the spilled potion, he trembled in shock. My 48,000 gold coins. You rotten wench, I'll kill you. The moment the words left his lips, Wu Hen's entire body froze. He began to tremble. The poison had paralyzed him. He couldn't move at all. Before he could turn the situation around, Diep Vu unleashed a kick with her assassin's dance skill. Taking the full force of the blow, Wu Hen's health bar dropped significantly, and a wave of pain left him dazed. Diep Vu gripped the dagger in her hand, her voice filled with resentment. I've been waiting for this chance for a long time. And just like that, the foolish Wu Hen was stabbed again, his health bar nearly empty. Unwilling to accept defeat, he shouted, "You two just wait, I won't let you get away with this." The system immediately announced Diep Vu's victory, but Wu Hen also got the chance to revive as he was teleported to Extreme Ice City. To think this beast could revive again. Zhang Yi gave a helpless laugh. I really have nothing to do with her. Diep Vu hid behind him again. You think he's going to believe you now, my dear big brother? Zhang Yi smiled bitterly. It's over for me. Now, not even the Yellow River could wash this stain away. What a sweet burden this is. After the poison status effect wore off, Zhang Yi asked Diep Vu, why did you come back? I thought you were long gone. Could it be you couldn't bear to leave a big brother like me? She pouted and replied, not at all. I stayed for myself. After all, they came to Dawnbreak City to kill me. From a distance, Du Yan watched Zhang Yi and Diep Vu, unable to hide his jealousy. That kid Zhang Yi sure has all the luck. Broke, so how does he still have a pretty girl by his side? Just then, a beast behind him stammered in fear, the boss is dead. What? And he called himself the strongest of the beast clan. Tu Yan frowned, annoyed, pathetic. I thought he'd be a reliable backer. I can't believe he still got taken out by that bastard Zhang Yi. He cowardly turned to leave, planning to slip away, while no one was paying him any mind. At that moment, a weapon shot towards Tu Yan's back, followed by a cold voice. Did I say you could leave? We still haven't settled our debt. As soon as the words were spoken, the sword slashed down, cracking the very ground and terrifying Tu Yan. Zhang Yi immediately leaped forward, and with his golden speed, he knocked the beastman away. In an instant, his sword was at Tu Yan's throat. He said, what is the Beast Clan's real purpose for coming to Dawnbreak City? His voice trembled with fear. I only know they want to find that woman to get a card back. I don't know anything else. Hearing this, Zhang Yi was startled. What kind of card would make the Beast Clan relentlessly hunt someone all the way to the main human city? Could it be? Just then, Diep Vu cut into the conversation. Are you talking about this? This is what I took off my assassination target in Glacier City. This busted card doesn't do anything besides look pretty. She held the card out in front of the two of them. It glowed with a brilliant golden light, looking a lot like one of those god-tier talent cards. The two men stared at her, their jaws dropped. It doesn't just times look, times like one. Isn't this a god-tier talent card? But hearing this, Zhang Yi began to calculate. Whether it's normal, epic, or god-tier, all players can only have one talent skill. This might be the reason she can't activate and use this god-tier talent card. It seems she doesn't know this yet. Suddenly, his thoughts halted. Zhang Yi's expression darkened. Wait a minute. She just said she got it by killing someone else. That means the rumors from my past life about god-tier talent cards might actually be true. At this point, a devious thought crossed his mind. You die, and your god-tier talent card becomes mine. God-tier talent cards can be inherited among players, and the way to inherit one is to kill its previous owner. Then, the man looked at him miserably. Can you let me go now? I've told you everything I know. But Zhang Yi's face was grim as he raised his sword. If you hadn't seen this card, I might have been in a good enough mood to spare you. But now, you'll just have to take the secret of this card to your grave. As the thought ended, his sword plunged down forcefully. Tu Yan couldn't believe he could be so despicable. He coughed up blood, his eyes wide. You. Immediately after, the system announced that he had suffered a fatal blow from Zhang Yi and had no chance of revival. With the job done, he quickly stored his sword back into the system. Diep Vu teased, "You're standing so close to me. Aren't you afraid I'll make a move on you?" He answered honestly, "I'm not. Because I know you're a smart woman. Right now, the people from Bloodgate see us as being on the same side. As long as I'm alive, I can help you take some of the heat from their pursuit." Zhang Yi stared intently at Diep Vu, his curiosity piqued. Every God-tier talent card corresponds to a special God-tier talent skill. I wonder what the card in her hand does. He immediately made a proposal. How about we make a deal? What do you think? Just give me the Ring of Death and this card, and we can forget everything that's happened between us. Diep Vu took out the card and a ring, holding them out. You really want these that badly? Pausing for a moment, she leaned in close to Zhang Yi's face. Besides, is this ring that important? Important enough for you to chase me all the way here? Or, is it because this ring belongs to times her asterisk? He didn't hesitate to say, because I promised I would bring this ring back, and I will. Diep Vu replied, all right, all right, all right. You can have your ring back, but this card is mine. With that, she turned her back as if afraid he'd snatch it away. After finishing his business, Zhang Yi didn't linger long, but he left her with some final words. As a trading partner, I'll give you a friendly reminder. It's best not to tell anyone else about this golden card, Diep Vu added. Then let me give you a piece of advice. Get out of here, quickly. The people from Bloodgate won't let this go. Sooner or later, they'll come to Dawnbreak City for revenge. Without turning back, a dangerous glint appeared in Zhang Yi's eyes. Thanks for the advice, but don't you worry. That big, dumb oaf can't beat me. The scene changes back to the others, who were all in awe of the Beastmen. Xiao Jiao said while channeling her internal energy, these Beast Clan players are built like tanks. Their hides are so thick. Qing Long added, not only can they take a beating, they're also despicable. To think they'd ambush us while the Guildmaster wasn't here. As for Yan Hu, she was worried. I wonder how the Guildmaster is doing. Before she could finish her sentence, a Beastman, a member of the Beast Clan, launched a vicious sneak attack from behind. Die! At that exact moment, an axe came flying from the distance as a familiar voice rang out. Yan Nu, be careful! The Beast Clan member was startled. You? Zhang Yi shouted. I've already sent your boss back to the Ice Citadel. Now you can go join him. Instantly, as the axe came down, the man was killed on the spot. Xiao Jiao ran over from a distance. Guild leader, you're finally back. Yan Hu walked over and asked with concern, Are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere? Zhang Yi replied, I'm fine, but these beastmen are really tough to deal with. He then handed her the ring. Yan Nu, look, I got your ring back for you, she exclaimed happily. I knew it. I knew you could do it. Then he said to everyone, we need to level up as fast as possible. The Tianqi army has already reached level 50. We can't afford to fall behind. Duanfeng added, no problem. How about we head out right now? Qinglong also replied cheerfully. Looks like our leveling maniac is getting restless again. Duanfeng led the way, flexing his arm happily. Look at these big, strong muscles on my arm. Tomorrow, watch me blow those monsters' heads off with a single punch. Zhang Yi watched them, thinking that sometimes, having heaven-sent luck also meant facing many more dangers. Once the secret that God-tier talent cards could be inherited was known, both I and Han Yanu would become prey for every other player in the world of Tianke. We'd be in the most dangerous situation possible. So, before that crisis arrives, all we can do is continuously increase our own strength. At this moment, the apocalypse spirit appeared. After she announced a series of updates, Zhang Yi thought to himself, dealing with the people from the Bloodgate clan took up a lot of time. Luckily, I've finally caught up in level. Just then, on the main street of Dawnbreak City, Xiao Jiao was sitting on Duanfeng's back. She said, Guild leader, what should we do next? We've all reached our level cap. He immediately replied, of course, we're going to break through the level cap. Speaking of which, he fell into deep thought. I have to complete the second advancement to keep leveling up if I want to get revenge. My current level 50 skills aren't enough. Yan Yu and the others need to get stronger too. The scene changes to the front of the job advancement hall, where a large hammer slammed into the ground, stunning everyone. The crowd murmured. Another one got blown away. This second advancement test is just too hard. Qinglong sat down next to the defeated man as people chattered. The score requirement for the second advancement is way too high. No one's managed to hit 20,000 points yet. I just wasted 100 gold coins on the test fee for nothing. Forget the gold coins. This is like paying money just to get beat up. The girl who had just sent the young man flying stepped forward. Anyone else want a turn? Here in Dawnbreak City, this is the trial grounds. Chi said arrogantly, is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? Zhang Yi stepped forward. I'd like to give it a try. Looking at the girl before him, he added, in this apocalypse, you can't win based on stats alone. It's also about skill. This time, I'll show you all something truly eye-opening. Chi pointed to the sky. See that thing up there? As soon as she finished speaking, a mission panel appeared with all the details. This girl was the proctor for the second advancement trial. Chi continued. This is the scoring robot for the second advancement trial. You have 10 minutes. Only when you make the number on its head surpass 20,000 can you pass the trial. Zhang Yi leaped up with lightning speed. Then let's begin. He then shot towards Chi-Chi. She didn't flinch, smashing her hammer into the ground. Hey handsome, a frontal assault isn't a very good choice. He's so fast. Zhang Yi charged forward. Do you really think I'd be foolish enough to go head-to-head with a warrior when I don't have the upper hand? The internal energy in his hand began to gather. I'll let you feel what it's like to be electrocuted. Chain lightning. Instantly, Chi-Chi was hit by the strong electric current from his hand, making her scream. Zhang Yi's score immediately shot up. It was at 2,000 points. He was sweating, thinking to himself, now I just need to get this number up to 20,000. The crowd was amazed. Is this for real? He got 2,000 points right at the start of the trial. This kid's got some skills. I thought he was just bluffing. Chi-Chi swung her weapon excitedly. Looks like I underestimated you. Try this on for size. Void War Mace. The crowd couldn't help but be surprised. Huh? The mace in her hand disappeared. Where did her mace go? But just then, it reappeared and slammed into Zhang Yi, sending him flying. The points he had just gained were now deducted by 2,000. Xiao Jiao said worriedly, it seems the proctor for this second advancement test is really strong. Sister Nu, do you think the guild leader can pass this test? Yanu was full of confidence. I believe he can definitely do it. She thought calmly, even though he always ends up in extremely dangerous situations. He always relies on himself to do things that other people can't. On the other side, Zhang Yi was panting heavily, standing tall amidst the hazy smoke. At the same time, Zhang Yi summoned a flock of black birds, shouting, you got lucky once, but I won't give you another chance. His eyes darted around as he quickly calculated. In my past life, I challenged this Void War Mall 200 times and could never beat it. But because I challenged it so many times, I gained a ton of combat experience. After sharing his vision with them, Zhang Yi's eyes lit up. The two of them stood parallel to each other, glowing with a powerful light. Yi, Ru's mace swung towards him. Zhang Yi declared smugly, I dodge. And just like that, he did. Zhang Yi gained 1,000 points. Kiki was startled. How could he predict where I would summon? A reminder echoed in his mind. Behind you, to the left. His score continued to climb. Zhang Yi said smugly, now it's my turn to attack. He calculated internally. With the shared vision from my summoned crows, I can easily rack up 20,000 points just by dodging attacks. Instantly, Zhang Yi's score began to skyrocket. Kiki nervously scanned her surroundings and muttered to herself, it must be because of those black crows. The moment the thought crossed her mind, she immediately attacked, shouting, Void, War Maul, Tempest. The pink mace swung towards Zhang Yi again, his birds scattered in a panic. Zhang Yi was startled. In his vision, he saw the weapon getting closer and closer. I'm screwed. Seeing his bird get hit, he grew anxious. She's figured it out. Zhang Yi calculated, I can't score points by dodging anymore. I have to end this quickly. Right then, he gritted his teeth and channeled his power, Hell Dragon Flame, Purgatory Thunder Strike. His points immediately began to rack up. It seems this attack is working. Kiki was completely defeated, and the system immediately granted him the title of Great Beastmaster. Everyone was astonished and abuzz. They couldn't believe this guy actually passed the second job advancement trial. 22,000 points. That score is just too absurd. A second job, Beastmaster. He's so strong. Xiao Jiao cheered, as expected of our strongest guild leader. Scene change. Now in Moonlight City. Mu Chen slammed his fist on the ground. I feel my body overflowing with energy. Callow looked at him smugly. You now have the strongest equipment among all current players. You won't suffer a crushing defeat at Zhang Yi's hands like last time. Now is the best chance for you to kill Zhang Yi. Mu Chen was surprised. Just me alone? Callow immediately replied, of course not. I will lend you my most capable subordinates. They have experience fighting Zhang Yi before. They can help you deal with him. Come out. He looked at the group, then ordered, I have given you all new equipment, and you've leveled up a lot these past few days. I hope you won't disappoint me again this time. Furthermore, in this operation, you must completely obey Mu Chen's orders. Dongfang immediately replied, yes, sir. We will definitely complete the mission. Ka also replied, as you command. Callow handed something to Mu Chen. Take this scroll. At a critical moment, it can help you, but you must remember, it can only be used once. He took it and replied, understood. Right after, he led the group to prepare. Let's go, to Dawn City. Callow smugly petted his dragon, a wicked look on his face. Zhang Yi, I'll show you what happens when you make an enemy of me. Scene change, to Dawn City. Wyro asked cheerfully, So? The barbecue place I recommended is great, right? Xiao Jiao was excited. It's so good, so good. This is the best barbecue I've ever had in the apocalypse. Seeing how much she liked it, Zhang Yi said, tomorrow, I'll take everyone to do the special training for the second job advancement. Don't forget. Xiao Jiao danced around. We're about to pass the second job advancement just like the guild leader. Qinglong walked over to him and said quietly, Guild leader, I heard that after completing the second job advancement, you can use powerful second job skills, right? When are you going to show them to us? Zhang Yi replied casually, sure. Next time we're in a dungeon, I'll show you all. He then thought to himself with satisfaction, I've gained so many skills in such a short time. This will be enough for me to study for a while. Looking at one particular skill, Zhang Yi couldn't help but marvel. It removes control effects and simultaneously makes the enemy panic. This skill is so overpowered. As the group was walking and chatting happily, some familiar figures blocked their path. Mu Chen spoke up, Zhang Yi, I've finally found you. Zhang Yi was inwardly surprised. Aren't the people next to him from the God's Domain Guild? Why are they with Mu Chen? But he spoke calmly, Mu Chen, shouldn't you be enjoying the last few days of your life instead of running here to die? Mu Chen shouted angrily, you brat! I let you get away last time, but you won't be so lucky again. I'll definitely make you regret this. Then he glanced over at the members of the God's Domain Guild. Hey, you four, just hold back the others. Zhang Yi is mine. Bing Dai looked over at Duan Feng. This one belongs to me. You guys can split the rest. Looking at him, he snorted coldly. You talk big. Let's see what you've got. The moment he finished speaking, they both drew their swords and charged at each other at lightning speed. Facing Duan Feng, Bing Dai couldn't help but be impressed. Such a fast sword. After just the first move, Bing Dai was already preparing to retreat. Duan Feng asked contemptuously, what's wrong, trying to run already? Watching the two fight, He Ying also began to channel his energy. Next up, it's my turn. Instantly, he unleashed that dark power toward Zhang Yi. He was on guard, but never expected that He Ying's target was actually Xiao Jiao. Yanu cried out urgently, Xiao Jiao, don't be afraid. We're coming to save you, Xiao Jiao screamed in terror. Save me! Qinglong rushed forward anxiously. Miss, be careful. There's an ambush ahead. Seeing the chaos, Zhang Yi also charged forward anxiously, but his body suddenly couldn't move. Looking down at his legs, bound by dark shadows, Zhang Yi grew frantic. What's happening? Why can't I move my body? Mu Chen seized the opportunity and rushed forward. Your companions are all gone now. It's just you left. On top of that, you're caught in He Ying's control skill. In a flash, he was already behind Zhang Yi. I'd like to see what tricks you have left to fight back. As soon as he spoke, Mu Chen gripped his sword tightly and stabbed forward viciously. But he never expected Zhang Yi to use a demon substitute. Mu Chen was stunned. What is this? Zhang Yi appeared behind him. Did you really think I'd let you stab me in the back again? Instantly, he channeled energy into his hand. Chain lightning. In just a moment, Mu Chen was violently shocked by Zhang Yi's massive electrical current, leaving him paralyzed. But to his surprise, Mu Chen seemed completely unharmed after taking a full hit from his chain lightning. Mu Chen quickly spun around. The gear I'm wearing is the most top-tier equipment among all current players. You think you can hurt me with that? Once again, he charged over smugly, have a taste of my heavenly star purgatory. Before Zhang Yi could react, his dragon shielded its master. He was stunned, Xiao He. After calming down, Zhang Yi let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness you were here. Otherwise, I would have been turned into a pincushion. Immediately after, Zhang Yi shouted a command, Xiao He, activate chaotic wing break. That overwhelming wave of power quickly blasted toward Mu Chen. Zhang Yi said with satisfaction, this is what you call a taste of your own medicine. Suddenly being hit with such an overwhelming attack, Mu Chen gritted his teeth in fury. Zhang Yi asked scornfully, how does it feel to taste your own whirlwind? He stood there, looking at his enemy. A beast tamer's magical beast evolves in correspondence with their master's class advancement. I have completed my second class advancement, while you are still just a tier 1 assassin. That is the gap between you and me. But he was so surprised he stammered, what? How do you have a tier 2 great dragon? The words had barely left his mouth when powerful forces immediately assaulted him. Xiao He glared, its claw gripping Mu Chen tightly. He screamed, refusing to accept it. Zhang Yi declared, Mu Chen, I will always stand above you. Staring at the dragon, Mu Chen was filled with silent terror. Damn it. Why didn't that guy Callow tell me the crucial information that Zhang Yi had completed his second class advancement? Suddenly, he recalled Callow's instructions. You have to remember, it can only be used once. At the time, Mu Chen had replied, got it. Now, he paused. The scroll. That's right, I still have the scroll. He immediately took it out. Zhang Yi, don't celebrate too soon, he taunted back arrogantly. Come on, let me witness this power of yours. And just like that, a massive red dragon emerged from the scroll. It let out a ferocious roar at Xiaohe the moment it appeared. Seeing that the opponent seemed to overpower his beast, Zhang Yi grew worried. The moment that dragon appeared, it sent Xiaohe flying into the sky. Just like that, Xiaohe's entire body was slammed violently against the rocks. Mu Chen gloated. As expected, Kalo didn't lie to me. With this, even a tier 2 great dragon will be trampled under my feet. He savored the worried look on his opponent's face. Zhang Yi, today is the day you die. Elsewhere, Dongfang looked scornfully at Qinglong. You want to save her? Let's see if you have what it takes. Qinglong roared in frustration. Give Xiao Jiao back to me. As he spoke, Yanu immediately channeled her power, a stream of light forming a spell seal in midair. This was the ice hammer technique. Dongfang glanced at his skeleton companion. I'll leave it to you. That creature immediately channeled its energy. Watch me. A shield of bone thorns appeared, blocking all of Yan Yu's attacks. Those same thorns then shot out violently toward the two of them. Seeing those thorny projectiles, Qinglong's gaze turned ice cold. If you want to bully my lady, you'll have to get through the arrow in my hand first. Instantly, the bow and arrow in Qinglong's hands were drawn, ready to fire. The moment the arrow was released, the skeleton was shattered to pieces and collapsed to the ground. Sensing the situation was turning grim, He Ying, gritting her teeth, she channeled all her power to dodge. As chaos erupted among her enemies, Xiao Jiao seized the opportunity to break free. Sister Yanu, He Ying cursed in frustration. Damn it, she got away. Don't let her escape. He Ying immediately attacked with his shadow hole technique. Yanu blocked it while reassuring her. Xiao Jiao, don't be afraid. It's all right now. Holding Xiao Jiao tightly, Yanu shouted, Duanfeng, what's your status? He replied, don't worry, I'll end this fight quickly. The Ice Emperor roared. The one ending this fight will be me, not you. And just like that, Duanfeng's entire body was encased in ice. It seemed like he was trapped, but in an instant, Duanfeng used his sword intent to shatter the ice cocoon. Don't celebrate too early. I haven't accepted defeat just yet. Faced with the incoming attack, the Ice Emperor immediately covered his face with his hands. As Duanfeng landed, the Ice Emperor suddenly coughed up blood. He couldn't understand how this happened. Duanfeng coolly sheathed his weapon. Did you think the other two swords at my hip were just for decoration? He then immediately swooped down towards the Azure Dragon. One down, only 3 to go. He Ying stepped forward. Don't you guys celebrate too soon. Our plan is already complete. But the skeleton was a bit startled, not expecting the Ice Emperor to be sacrificed. Their strength is truly not to be underestimated. Elsewhere, Zhang Yi's leg suddenly trembled after taking a hit from an explosion, and he wondered, what the hell was that? Yanu grew worried. This is bad. Something happened to Zhang Yi. We've all fallen into their trap. Their real target is Zhang Yi. Mu Chen went ballistic. Which bastard is so shameless? Are you gonna let a guy eat in peace? This is supposed to be a safe zone. Keep running. Let's see how long you can flee. Get him. Zhang Yi commanded. Xiaohe, stay away from the crowded buildings. He calculated inwardly. The attack power of a 4th-tier dragon emperor is just too strong. I have no chance of getting close, and I can't find its weakness by just hiding like this. It's better to take the initiative and attack. Zhang Yi stroked his demonic beast. Xiaohe, let's prepare to attack. I believe you can do it. He patted its head reassuringly, then roared, for old grudges and new, I'll settle the score with you today. Seeing Zhang Yi, Mu Chen ordered his dragon to attack, charging forward so confidently. Are you overestimating yourself? Or are you underestimating me now? The breath of a 4th-tier dragon emperor will engulf all of you. He looked at him arrogantly amidst the sea of fire and said, even if you have an immortal body, the beast beneath you will be incinerated by my dragon's breath. Within the flames, Zhang Yi calculated that his soul link could, for a short period, transfer all damage taken by his beast to himself, the beast tamer. Therefore, as long as my immortal body hasn't run out, Xiaohe is invincible. The two of them charged forward, and he immediately commanded, Xiaohe, attack its right wing. Zhang Yi calculated, a dragon's wings are a relatively weak point on its body. Once damaged, it will lose its mobility. This is the best way to restrain its attacks. As he finished his thought, Xiaohe immediately obeyed its master's command, biting down hard on the other dragon's wing, causing its blood to gush out. A wave of pain shot through it, and the 4th-tier dragon emperor let out a loud, agonized roar. Mu Chen's left arm was also affected, his protective gauntlet cracked wide open. Zhang Yi thought to himself, I keep feeling like there's something off about this 4th-tier Dragon Emperor. I only lost 500 HP from its attack, but it lost 1,500 from a single hit by Xiao He. The 4th-tier Dragon Emperor's damage is clearly lower than normal, and the damage it takes is clearly a bit too high. Could it be that only damage dealt by an illusion would be this low? While at the same time, the damage it receives would be much higher. So this isn't a real 4th-tier Dragon Emperor, but an illusion summoned through a contract. At the same time, Mu Chen's body started feeling strange, startling him. What's happening to me? Just then, Zhang Yi landed, his mind still racing. That explains the appearance of those minions from the God's Light Guild earlier. And this scroll, it all makes sense now. This whole stupid charade was just a tactic to stall me. Zhang Yi looked at him. It seems you're unaware that using this scroll comes with a massive side effect. Mu Chen was shocked. No way, he wouldn't lie to me. Mu Chen couldn't accept it. I've only just become this powerful. It can't end like this. Zhang Yi continued. Just look at your aging body. That's the price you pay for carelessly activating a summoning contract. Don't you get it yet? From the very beginning, you were just a pawn being used by someone else. He screamed upon learning the truth. No, even if I die, I'm taking you all down with me. Mu Chen then began to channel his inner energy again. Come, witness my full power as I offer it to the great Dragon Emperor. Zhang Yi was startled. This lunatic. He's planning to merge with the 4th-tier Dragon Emperor's illusion. He's gone completely insane. I'll turn this entire city into a living hell. I'll make everyone bow down to my power. The crowd below fell into chaos. Everyone, run. There's a madman killing people indiscriminately. Zhang Yi looked at him with contempt. You're about to die, and you don't even know it. To repent. I must have been blind before, not realizing you were scum. I can't believe I gave you a chance, and you still chose to be a villain. Moltun stood on his dragon. Zhengjit, so what if you're a regressor? Do you think you can kill me again? This time, you'll be the one I kill. He silently gritted his teeth. The man had completely lost his mind, turning into a total madman. Trungditch began to plan. He just needed to completely destroy that scroll, to sever the link between the main body and the illusion, making the illusion disappear. Then, he climbed down from the dragon's back. Tiohak, go up front and cover me. The sword in Trungditch's hand thrust forward powerfully as he yelled, break! Watching his body slowly disappear, Molthun grew frantic. No, I won't lose. But just then, Trungditch's dragon suddenly collapsed. He ran over worriedly. Tiohak. Over on the side, Tio Jiao was startled. Good heavens, how are there so many casualties here too? That damned divine guild. They're despicable. Doanfang cursed in frustration. Damn it, I should have punished them more harshly just now. Sooner or later, we'll settle this score with them. Nanyu ran over to him. Trungditch, are you okay? We were too late. Nanyu paused, looking at his magical beast. Tiohak, is it? Trungditch's eyes welled with tears. Tiohak was gravely injured trying to save me. I'll definitely find a way to heal it. He growled with rage. As for the person behind all of this, I'll make them pay the price. As he said this, Trungditch's gaze grew even more determined. Meanwhile, outside the Dawn Sanctuary in the Autumn Forest, Nanhu secretly followed him, wondering why Trungditch had come here so early. As for him, Trungzit was lost in thought. In the world of Tiankai, there was an extremely precious resurrection potion. No matter how severe the injury, drinking it grants a full recovery, he told himself. Right now, Tiohak has entered a state of extreme weakness. Normal life potions are completely useless. To save Tiohak, I must obtain this resurrection potion. The weakened state occurs when a magical beast suffers a fatal, near-death injury. A magical beast in this state cannot be summoned into battle by its master. As far as Trungditch knew, the only way to get this resurrection potion was to find the specialized pharmacist Loi Funya and complete her potion crafting quest. Soon after, he landed on the ground, breathing heavily. He had finally found her. Loi Funya. He remembered meeting her in his past life, when he was on the brink of death. I've found everything you need. Quick, help me craft the resurrection potion. And just like that, the potion was crafted just in time to save his life. Now, they were complete strangers. Trungditch suddenly shouting her name took Funya by surprise. Are you looking for me? Ignoring her confusion, Trungditch said urgently, Loi Funya, hurry. I want to accept the resurrection potion crafting quest. She was stunned. How? How did you know I was researching a resurrection potion? Trungditch grew even more impatient and cut her off. Let's not talk about that right now. Quick, give me the journal. I have to save Tiohak. Fu Na happily took it out. Are you talking about this? It seems your little friend must be badly hurt. Don't worry, this journal. Trungdich immediately snatched it and recited proficiently. The journal contains clues to 3 precious ingredients. If I bring them to you, you can help me synthesize the resurrection potion. I've already memorized this entire script. Fu Na was utterly astonished. How? How did you know what I was going to say next? Trungdich didn't answer, simply turning to leave quickly with a word of thanks. He looked at the system panel, calculating silently. The first step of the quest is to get the essence of life from the Demon Suppression Tower. Looks like I have to make another trip to the Demon Suppression Tower. Fu Na was worried. These 3 items aren't that easy to find. If it's just you alone, it could take 10 days to half a month. Trungdich said hurriedly, I'll bring them to you immediately, just wait for me. Nanhu, who was behind them, heard the whole story, but she was puzzled. All this just to save Teo Hak? But how did Trungdich know there was a way to save Teo Hak here? Looking at Trungdich, Nanhu's heart ached for him. You're always the one charging ahead. I want to do something for you too. Don't worry. Leave the other 2 materials to me. Inside the Demon Suppression Tower, people were buzzing. We've waited a whole week. We can finally fight some monsters. I heard someone made it to floor 12 last time. I'm definitely catching up this time. Trungdich zipped past them, rushing forward. One of them was surprised. Where did that damn brat come from? What's he trying to prove, running that fast? But he paid them no mind. Teo Hak, wait for me. I'll get the resurrection potion and heal you right away. In a flash, he arrived at the Demon Suppression Tower. Trungdich pounded on the door, shouting, Hey, you big oaf, open the door, I'm in a hurry. Just then, a loud, powerful voice boomed as the door swung open. Who is this fearless fool, calling for me? You must have a death wish to disturb my rest. As the creature walked out, Trungdich landed a powerful kick on its leg. He yelled in annoyance, I don't have time to play with you. Now tell me where the teleport to the next floor is. As soon as the warrior saw him. Model. The demon roared in fury. You again, you damned brat. Zhang Yi appeared behind him in a flash, thinking to himself, I haven't used this second advancement skill yet. You'll be good practice. The demon startled and growled. Damn it, you even used a body double. I underestimated you. We demon warriors will never surrender. Instantly, Zhang Yi used the soul inquiry technique. This was a technique that summoned a demon to probe the enemy's mind. A series of images flooded into his head, but the contents of the probe exceeded the system's limits, and the inquiry was cut short. Zhang Yi was a little surprised. Why does he have memories of the real world? Could it be they were once real people? He wondered. Normally, only one person could enter the blue teleportation gate to the next floor. But here, there were 2 gates of different colors. He had seen this image before, in Xian's memories. At that moment, an idea sparked in his mind. Let's see just where this red teleportation gate leads. Meanwhile, Zhang Yi's every move was being recorded by someone. By now, he had already stormed into the 30th floor of the Demon Suppression Tower. The man's face darkened with a wicked smile. You're finally here. He then reached out and pressed a red button in front of him, thinking slyly, well then, let me come and play with you for a bit. On the 30th floor of the Demon Suppression Tower, Zhang Yi charged inside without a moment's hesitation. He covered his face to block the blast of energy, astonished. I can't believe the red portal leads directly to the 30th floor. This saved me a lot of time climbing the tower. As he walked, Zhang Yi calculated his next move. All I need to do now is get the essence of life from the top of the cathedral. As Zhang Yi stood before the tower, a domineering aura radiated out, startling him. What is this power? Before he could finish the thought, the light erupted in a massive explosion. Zhang Yi cried out in shock. From within the tower, a girl with a blazing aura flew out, radiating immense killing intent. She was none other than the 6-winged fallen angel. The moment she appeared, the fallen angel launched a powerful attack toward him with darkness missiles. The 6-winged angel growled as she attacked. Since you're not afraid to die and dare to challenge the 30th floor, then let me show you what it means to be crushed by absolute power. Immediately after, Zhang Yi shot upwards, flying right at her. Not giving his enemy a chance to wound him, he flew past with golden speed. Damn it, she's using her ultimate right off the bat? Isn't that a bit much? The scene then cuts to Ba Huang. He had been sent to a completely unfamiliar place by a huge explosion. A rock fell on his face, causing Ba Huang to grimace in pain. Waking up, he immediately sat up, rubbing his head. Where am I? Ba Huang thought to himself. I was just resting on the 8th floor. How did I suddenly end up here? Right then, a fiery battle erupted before his eyes, and the person fighting was none other than Zhang Yi, who he saw darting through the air, dodging the six-winged fallen angel's attacks. Ba Huang was stunned. What in the world is this situation? He wondered. He just went through his second-class advancement, and he's already challenging this? Isn't this overkill? Elsewhere, Zhang Yi's entire body was sent flying. He gritted his teeth, thinking, why is the boss here a six-winged fallen angel? My strength isn't nearly enough. What should I do? How can there be so many human skeletons here? These were the unidentified remains from when the fallen angels attacked the city. Thanks to the system, he finally understood. So that's what happened. This fallen angel is truly ruthless. The moment he landed, Zhang Yi smiled. Looks like I've found a way to break through. With a thought, his hand touched a skull lying on the ground. Instantly, a blood sigil appeared, and a faint light spread everywhere. It carried an immense inner power. Zhang Yi spoke to the skulls. I'll let you have your revenge. Seeing him, the fallen angel suddenly paused. It seemed she was also wondering what Zhang Yi was up to. He stood like a general amidst a field of bones. Rise, my soldiers. Surround her. The moment Zhang Yi finished speaking, the skeletons, with their blazing red eyes, aimed straight for the six-winged angel flying high in the sky. Suddenly, rising bones grabbed hold of her legs. The fallen angel was taken aback, watching as Zhang Yi soared high into the air. She shouted in anger, "So you want to use these souls to stop me? Your real goal is to get the essence of life. Give it up. I won't let you get what you want." With that, the fallen angel immediately began to gather her inner power. "Descend, my lightning," she then roared at him. Server magic, thunder domain. This was server magic. It summoned a magical storm that lasted for 10 minutes. Every 3 seconds, the storm would deal 500 magic damage to all surrounding enemies. As she finished, a bolt of lightning struck down with immense force. Of course, the skeletons were no match for her. The six-winged angel glared at Zhang Yi. "You're next." Zhang Yi was a bit surprised, not expecting her to deal with the skeletons so quickly. "Your little game ends now," the fallen angel declared, slashing her sword toward Truong-dich. As she prepared to land the final blow, Truong-dich gritted his teeth. He was in serious trouble. But just in the nick of time, a blast of power shot towards her, tearing a gaping hole in the fallen angel's stomach. Feathers flew everywhere as the fallen angel glanced behind her. How? How could you kill me? She was shocked. How could another player still exist on this floor? Just then, a system alert rang out, warning of critical body damage and imminent disconnection. She cursed under her breath. Damn it. It seems controlling an NPC's body through data transmission isn't stable enough. Consider yourselves lucky today. Before vanishing, she left them with a parting threat. We'll be seeing each other again very soon. Once the danger was over, Truong-dich couldn't help but ask, "Bat Hong, what are you doing here? I thought I entered a solo dungeon, didn't I? Still, that was one hell of a move. How come I've never seen you use such an awesome skill before?" His jaw dropped in disbelief. "What? I'm the one who killed her?" Later that night, at the Eternal Tower, Kung Ki stared at a screen and commanded in a cold voice, "Apocalypse Spirit, replay the entire battle for me." Lin Lan immediately responded, "Yes, Master." The fierce battle immediately replayed before his eyes, leaving Kung Ki feeling a bit puzzled. Silence filled the room as Kung Ki meticulously studied the fight, not missing a single detail. Zoom in on the bottom right corner of the screen. Lin Lan immediately obeyed, enlarging the view. On the screen, Bat Huang lay motionless, with a mysterious man sitting beside him. The man's face was covered, hiding his identity. After a moment, Kung Ki remarked, "Looks like someone just logged out." Meanwhile, at the gate of the Demon Ceiling Tower, the system was counting down to closure. Fan Long was extremely worried. The Guildmaster isn't really going to wait until the tower closes for the night to come out, is he? If he doesn't get out soon, the young miss. No sooner had he said that, a burst of cheerful laughter made Fan Long jump. Guildmaster Bat Huang walked out. "Thanks for looking after Tunu these last few days." Truong-dich replied cheerfully, "Don't mention it, it's my duty. Nyanhu will be ecstatic to know you've returned." Seeing them both, Fan Long couldn't contain his excitement. Young master, you're here too?" Fan Long then stepped forward to report, "The young miss has been missing since this morning. We've sent her messages, but she hasn't responded." Bat Huang grew worried. Tunu has always been so careful. There must be a specific reason for this. Truong-dich added, "He's right. Think carefully. Did Nyan Yu do anything out of the ordinary before she went missing?" Hearing their reasoning, Fan Long scratched his head, puzzled. Anything unusual? Then, he searched his memory. "Last night, I saw the young miss in the plaza. She was standing all alone, facing the statue, and looked like she was praying. I saw her eyes were closed, so I didn't go over to bother her." Truong Dich put the pieces together. Midnight. The plaza. The statue. Nyanhu must have been doing the prayer quest. He began to explain, the prayer quest is a simple task in this apocalyptic world. You have to start at 9 p.m. and pray in the main city plaza for exactly 3 hours for a chance to get a reward from the dream god, the dream stone. But the dream stone itself doesn't have any effect. It's just a decorative item. However, if you water it with the dream spring from the dream spirit villa, you can obtain the dream flower. As he explained this, it suddenly clicked. For Truong Dich, the dream flower. I know where Nyanhu is. She's at the dream spirit villa. Bat Hoang was even more impatient. We can't delay any longer. Let's go now. In the blink of an eye, they all arrived at the dream spirit villa in Ice Pole City. Truong Dich took the lead and said, Than Long, try to send me a message. Than Long immediately tried, but then looked worried. I can't send the message. What's happening? Truong Dich explained. The dream spirit villa is the domain of the dream god Lien. To prevent apocalyptic enemies from invading, the dream god established a protective barrier. On top of that, dangerous monsters randomly spawn inside the villa. Any player who steps inside the barrier's range is cut off from all communication with other players. That's why Nyanhu, who's inside, can't receive any of our messages, and can't send any out either. He frowned as he spoke. Nyanhu is definitely somewhere inside the dream spirit villa right now. Alright, once we're inside, we'll have to split up. We must avoid running into any other trouble, since we won't be able to contact each other. Elsewhere, a group of players shouted in alarm, It's a dream spirit! Prepare for battle! Just as they spoke, 2 ferocious, female-shaped shadows lunged at them. Thuan, that quickly raised his sword and shield, shouting, Vajra's wrath, I've used my skill to hold them down. He then turned to Nyanhu. Little sister, you're up. Gripping her magic staff, she yelled, Icebone Storm. Nyanhu cried out, Ice Bones, answer my command. The moment she unleashed her skill, the 2 dream spirits were instantly defeated, leaving Thuan, that completely stunned. A level 50 mage is no joke. He felt like he'd just found a god-tier teammate. The corpses of the 2 dream spirits fell to the ground, emitting a faint purple smoke. At the same time, a red flower suddenly bloomed from the body of one of the dead dream spirits. Lu Tu exclaimed, Hey, look! A flower is blooming on that dream spirit's corpse. With that, she curiously moved closer, about to touch it. What is this? But just then, Nyanhu shouted a warning, Don't touch it, but it seemed she was too late. Just as Nyanhu spoke, Lu Tu's hand had already made contact. The flower immediately released a mysterious red aura. The 3 of them held their breath, waiting to see what would happen next. More and more flowers began to bloom, startling Lu Tu. What's going on? Thuan, that explained. After a dream spirit dies, there's an extremely small chance it will respawn as an elite monster, the blood-colored dream spirit. I can't believe we actually ran into one. Right after he spoke, the sound of footsteps echoed, followed by an arrogant voice. You poor little humans, why haven't you gone home? The voice was gentle, yet it carried a chilling, demonic coldness that sent shivers down their spines. All 3 of them, Nyanhu included, turned in unison towards the voice, not saying a word. The girl, surrounded by a red, murderous aura, spoke again. So, you have no home. If that's the case, then you can stay here with me. As she finished speaking, she immediately used her power to bind all 3 of them, lifting them into the air. Looking at the flower of dreams, Lu Tu was surprised. Why does this dream spirit look exactly like our mage sis? Nyanhu reassured her, Don't be afraid. This is a powerful skill of the blood-colored dream spirit, Dream Morph. Dream Morph allows it to transform into the highest level player among its opponents, copying their equipment and skills. Lu Tu trembled. Mage sis, save me. Nyanhu, on the other hand, was calm. These flowers thrive in a semi-dark environment. Speaking of which, she paused, taking a purple, quartz-like spirit stone from her robes. Then, Nyanhu simply tossed the stone into the middle of the red flowers. She explained to the other 2, These flowers are afraid of light, so we'll use a strong light source against them. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Tu immediately channeled her power and shouted, Watch this! A wave of radiant sunlight burst forth, helping her break free from her bonds. This was an exclusive priest skill. It summons a field of light in a designated area, restoring 500 HP, lasting for 10 seconds, with a 10-minute cooldown. The group breathed a sigh of relief, and Lu Tu smiled brightly. We're saved, but their joy was short-lived. A moment later, 3 sharp arrows came flying from a distance. Nyanhu reacted instantly, yelling, Watch out. She then grabbed Lu Tu and dodged, while the Flower of Dreams was shot and knocked to the ground. The strangers yelled out, "Get out of my way. Brothers, it's a blood-colored dream spirit. Finders keepers." Everyone charged forward as Nanu grew uneasy. This is bad, she thought. The bright light must have attracted all the nearby players. They're definitely here for the blood-colored dream spirit's loot. Lu, Tu retorted sassily. We're the ones who spawned this blood-colored dream spirit. What right do you have to steal it? Nyanu then whispered, "Don't provoke them. Let's wait here for now and observe the situation. It's not a bad idea to let them wear down the dream spirit's combat power first." An aggressive-looking man with 2 sharp fangs spoke up. "Bloodgate is here. Anyone not involved, get lost." The group immediately started attacking indiscriminately. "Move it. Get out of the way. This blood-colored dream spirit belongs to us, the Bloodgate Guild." The other players panicked. "Run, Tuan," that whispered. "It's the people from Bloodgate, the most notorious guild in Extreme Ice City. I've seen them bullying regular players before, robbing them by force, and killing without a second thought." Nyanu carefully pulled her hood lower. Weren't these the same people from the auction? She thought. If they recognize me, it'll be trouble. We need to leave quickly, before they see us. As soon as the thought crossed her mind, the 3 of them silently began to sneak away. But as fate would have it, Vongan happened to glance behind him. Seeing Nyanyu's figure, a faint memory surfaced in his mind. That woman. Not letting himself wonder any longer, Vongan instantly channeled his power and blasted her hood off. He looked at Nanu and confirmed his suspicion. It was indeed the woman who was with Zhang Yi at the auction. "Where is he?" he demanded. She played dumb, replying, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know you." He, of course, trusted his own memory completely. "Still playing dumb with me? You might not know me, but I know you. I haven't even come to Dawnbreaker City to settle the score with you lot, yet you have the nerve to run to my territory looking for death." Thuan, that quickly stood in front of Na-Nu. This must be some kind of misunderstanding. "This young lady is with us. If you want the blood-colored dream spirit, we won't bother you anymore. You can just do your thing, okay?" But as soon as he finished speaking, Vongan delivered a powerful kick to Thuan. "That stomach. Get the hell out of my way." Taking the brutal kick, he was sent flying, his body slamming hard against a large rock as pain shot through him. Vongan said coldly, "Humph. I haven't even gotten my revenge yet, and you think you can just leave? Dream on." Lu Tu couldn't hold back her sharp tongue any longer. "Hey, we just came here to run a dungeon. Don't you Bloodgate guys take your bullying too far." Wu Yin gripped his weapon, replying with a sneer. "A bully, you say?" As he spoke, he slashed forward, yelling, "Then go to hell and wait for me." Yan Yu couldn't stand it any longer and charged in. God-tier spirit transformation talent. The crowd seethed with rage. Unbelievable. These Bloodgate guys are going too far. That poor girl didn't even provoke him. But didn't they already agree to give him the dream spirit? It's hopeless. The people from the Bloodgate are all the same. Vicious, power-hungry bullies. Let's run. Yan Yu unleashed a wave of power, her 2 projections fiercely blocking his attack, but Wu Yin just gloated as he slashed wildly. "Your man is completely useless, leaving you here to fight alone. Why don't you just come to me instead?" Of course, Yanu refused to back down. She yelled in disgust as she attacked. "In your dreams, fireball." But in mere seconds, Wu Yin was right in front of her. "You're looking to die," he sneered, slashing down once more. He didn't stop there, pressing his attack. "If you insist on doing this the hard way, then don't blame me for what happens next." At the main gate of Dream Spirit Manor, Zhang Yi was stunned. Something's wrong. Why is everyone fleeing like their lives depend on it? He immediately grabbed someone. "What's going on up there? Why is everyone running out?" The young man answered frantically. "It's the Bloodgate. They're killing players left and right to steal a Scarlet Dream Spirit. And I heard they've even taken a beautiful girl hostage." Hearing that, a sense of dread washed over him. Could it be Yanu? The young man warned him, "I'm telling you, don't go in there. It's too dangerous." The next moment, he turned to his teammates. "Follow me." The 3 of them raced inside. There, Yanhu was trembling. Wu Yin's hand wrapped tightly around her throat. He threatened her with cold, cruel eyes. "I'm giving you one last chance to live. Get Zhang Yi out here, now." Yanu stammered, He's not here." His 2 goons started cackling. Such a shame. A fine piece like this, willing to throw her life away for her boyfriend. "I'll bet that coward Zhang Yi is hiding in some corner shaking right now. He saw our numbers and was too terrified to even show his face." The laughter barely faded before a blur of power sliced through their throats. They managed only a single, choked scream as blood gushed from the wounds. The axe swung again, this time aiming for Wu Yin. With blinding speed, Wu Yin was still reeling from the shock when Zhang Yi's ice-cold voice echoed through the air. You dare lay a hand on her. Seeing his beloved being treated this way, Zhang Yi's rage boiled over, his fists clenching with power. You must have a death wish. With a single strike, Wu Yin was sent sprawling. His followers cried out in shock. Boss! Yanu rested in Zhang Yi's arms. I'm sorry, I made you worry. He held her and said softly, It's all right, just wait here. I need to deal with these Bloodgate bastards first. Even with his face bruised and battered, Wu Yin managed to smirk. Zhang Yi, I don't think you grasp the situation. This is our time's turf, the Bloodgate's territory. Finishing his sentence, he roared, Get them! I'm going to make both of them suffer horribly. Instantly, Zhang Yi was surrounded by Bloodgate minions. But just then, a group of them in the back were suddenly launched into the sky, crashing back down in a heap. Ba Huang flew in, sword swinging wildly. You dare bully my sister? I'll butcher every last one of you dogs. Zhang Yi reassured the overprotective brother. It's all right. Yanu's only slightly hurt. You all look after her. The Bloodgate is known for its dirty tricks, so don't let them catch you off guard. Qinglong immediately responded. Got it. If things look bad, I'll jump in to support you at a moment's notice. Don't worry, we'll protect the lady. Just then, Yanu interrupted. Wait, she said weakly. Take this. It might help. Please, be careful. He was surprised. Yanu once again handed Zhang Yi the Ring of Death. He took it with a slight smile, thinking to himself with satisfaction. This time, I'll use all of you to feed my Ring of Death. Instantly, a massive explosion erupted the moment he dashed forward. Zhang Yi scoffed internally. The Bloodgate. Just a mob of worthless trash. Let's see how long you can withstand this. He glanced at the ring, incredibly pleased. The growth limit on this thing is terrifyingly high. At this point, forget about a pipsqueak like Wu Yin. Even a second advancement berserker wouldn't be a match for me. Wu Yin shrieked in a panic. What are you all staring at? Fire your arrows. Kill him. Zhang Yi just watched them, the picture of calm. Thanks for the arrows, he said. I was just wondering how I was going to trigger my skill. No sooner had the words left his mouth than a volley of arrows slammed into his back. At that exact moment, Zhang Yi's passive skill activated. He declared arrogantly, Now, you'll feel the wrath of the demon dragon. Xiao He rushed out, unleashing his AoE skill, Dragon Flame Hell. The Bloodgate members screamed in agony. It's so hot! Boss, save me! Wu Yin was forced to use Bloodthirsty Frenzy again. He growled, I refuse to believe he got this strong in just a few days. Last time, he only beat me because of dumb luck. He must be putting on a brave front. With that, he charged forward, shouting, I will avenge my Bloodgate brothers. But before he could even do anything, his axe suddenly snapped in two. Staring at his broken weapon, Wu Yin was stunned. He looked up, bewildered. You! Seeing the sword pointed directly at his head, Wu Yin finally started to panic. What do you want? Bloodgate is the #1 guild in Extreme Ice City. If you dare to touch me, the members of Bloodgate will never let you go. Zhang Yi replied nonchalantly, I've already killed you once. You think I'm afraid to do it a second time? You people from Bloodgate are capable of any evil. If one of you comes, I'll kill one. If the whole guild comes, I'll wipe out the whole guild. Faced with such an overwhelming presence, Wu Yin panicked. Save me. The moment the words left his mouth, his head went flying. Zhang Yi said coldly, Be a better person in your next life. With no chances of revival left, Wu Yin was truly and permanently killed by Zhang Yi. The remaining lackeys were dealt with shortly after. Qinglong quickly reported, Guild leader, all the Bloodgate members have been taken care of. What should we do with this elite monster? It looks like killing it will yield some good rewards. Zhang Yi replied, Don't kill it just yet. Yanu, you should have received the Dreamstone from your prayer, right? Try giving the Dreamstone in your hand to it. Yanhu immediately replied, Okay. Right after, Yanu handed the item to the Dream Flower. After absorbing it, she was deeply moved. The devout have returned to this place with the Dreamstone. Brave warriors, please follow me. Qinglong was surprised. Guild leader, did you secretly read a strategy guide before this opened? How did you even know about this? He looked towards the Dream Flower. Where is she taking us? Zhang Yi answered, Just follow her. She'll lead us to the Dream Spring. Following the Dream Flower, the group arrived at a spring. She immediately called out, Sleeping soul, please awaken. As soon as she spoke, the water's surface began to react. From within the blue water, a fair-skinned girl emerged. Chosen one, you have finally arrived. This was the Dream God, one of the 10 great gods of the apocalypse, corresponding to the 10 god-tier talent cards. A pair of glowing feet slowly stepped onto the surface of the lake. I have waited here for too long. Standing on the water, the dream god looked directly at Zhang Yi's group, so long that I've forgotten how many years have passed. She placed her hand behind her back, and a blue flower appeared beside her. As the first player to find this place, I shall bestow upon you a special reward. Carried by a wisp of smoke, the flower gradually floated towards where Yanhu was standing. This is the dream flower I've been looking for. A system notification appeared. Congratulations to player Han Yanhu for obtaining the dream flower. Overjoyed, she threw her arms around Zhang Yi. This is great. Xiao He can be saved now. He placed a hand on Yanhu's head and patted it, his face turning red. Yes, that's right. We were only able to find the dream flower thanks to you. Meanwhile, Qinglong looked at Ba Huang and suggested, Young master, should we patrol the area for a bit? Just in case, there are still Bloodgate members around. He closed his eyes and nodded in agreement. All right. Zhang Yi quickly opened a book next to the dream flower and the divine potion. All right, next I'll study how to replicate the resurrection potion. If I remember correctly, the talisman master probably created it like this. A moment later, a notification appeared along with a bottle of resurrection potion. Finally got it. Zhang Yi looked down, raising his hand to open a summoning magic circle. Xiao He. He reached out to stroke Xiao He, comforting it. You've suffered a lot recently. Don't worry. Drink this potion now and you'll be able to recover. Xiao He opened its mouth, and Zhang Yi poured the resurrection potion inside. In an instant, a golden energy enveloped it. Yanu ran over and hugged Xiao He joyfully. Our lively Xiao He is finally back. I missed you so much. Looking up, they saw the dream god observing from a distance. She silently held out her hand towards their group. Han Yanu stood there, looking up with a bewildered expression. A card appeared in her hand, clearly imprinted with the image of the dream god. Standing on the shore, Ba Huang anxiously warned the group, It's not clear what's happening yet. Everyone, be careful. Yanyu stood there, hand on her chest, looking up at an image of a group of people attacking a mansion's gate. 1,000 years ago, the demon clan attacked the continent. The dream god's face was filled with sorrow. The Dream Spirit Mountain Villa was the only peaceful land that was not invaded. A group of people surrounded and sealed one being. To fight back against the demon clan, the 10 great gods swore to fight to the death, joining forces to seal the king of the demon clan. Bound tightly in sealing chains, he let out a grotesque smile. Everything you're doing is merely delaying the inevitable. The dream god sat huddled in fear. The images of the 9 other gods then vanished. But after that great war, the other 9 gods disappeared one by one without a trace, and I, too, unknowingly fell into a deep slumber. The image faded, lingering in midair. She looked at Trongdich's group. What you are seeing now is merely an illusion I created before my slumber. Its main purpose was to wait for the chosen heroes to find me. Awaken me. Down below, Nyanhu placed a hand on her chest and slowly stepped forward. Meng, the dream god, is gone. Before the group now were only flickering lights on the water's surface. A blue notification panel appeared. The dream god has vanished. Legendary grade hidden quest. After the 10 great gods sealed the demon king, they disappeared one by one. Find the missing dream god. Truongdich was so focused on what was ahead that he didn't notice what was behind him. Looks like we've been pulled into the quest. Everyone, get ready. A moment later, as if by a sixth sense, he glanced back to see a group of ferocious-looking Lubu monsters, brandishing their blades as they charged. Watch out! The horde of Lubu monsters rushed forward, swinging their blades at Truongdich's group. Be careful! Nanu raised her weapon high and shouted, I'll hold them off. Truongdich gripped the sword in his hand and joined the fray. Leave the other 2 to me. A stream of blue light shot towards the Lubu monsters. Frozen sword howl. Seeing them all frozen solid before him, Bat Hoang smirked victoriously. Done. But unexpectedly, just a few seconds later, the ice around them began to melt. The control effect was useless against them. As the last of the ice melted away, the Lubu monsters charged forward with their blades. Seeing his skill was ineffective, Bat Hoang rushed in with his blade to fight them head-on. Looks like I'll just have to crush them directly. With a single swing of his blade, he sent 2 of them flying backwards. The weapon in Bat Hoang's hands began to shift, and within seconds, it split into 2 separate blades. Just like that, Bat Hoang swung his blades, cutting down one monster after another. Elsewhere, Than Long and Trong Dich were also fighting the Lubu monsters. He swung his blade and leaped forward. A short while later, all the Lubu monsters lay defeated at their feet. We're done over here too. Beside him, Nyanu turned to look at Trong Dich. All around them were glowing butterflies. Are you saying that we can only leave this space after we awaken the dream god and complete the quest? As soon as she finished speaking, she turned to look at the glowing butterflies. They were emerging one by one from the lake water, spreading their wings. Suddenly, Truongdich looked up, his eyes glowing red. I think we'll have our answer very soon. A notification panel appeared, activating Treasure Hunter's talent. At the bottom of the lake, a mirror was now glowing amidst the currents. There really is something strange at the bottom of this lake. Looking at the defeated Lu Bu monsters on the ground, Thon Long crossed his arms and wondered, where in the world did these monsters come from? I confirmed the surroundings were safe on our way here. He knelt down, touching one of them to examine its appearance. These monsters are actually quite similar to the demon race warriors in the dream god's projection just now. Standing nearby, Nyan Yu touched her chin, confused. But wasn't the demon race already sealed away? Why would they appear here? Truongdich raised his hand, palm open, sensing the air. It seems like these butterflies also appeared out of thin air. Then he shot to his feet and spoke to the others. Is it possible that we were never in the Dream Spirit Mountain Villa to begin with, but were instead pulled into the dream god's dream? As he finished, she stood beside him, looking at him inquisitively. In a dream, Truongdich lowered his head and continued to explain, you don't have to follow the basic rules of the game. That's why the sealed demon race warriors can appear from nothing, and the butterflies can replicate themselves. He recalled the image of the dream god, to be able to process the data of so many players and transport us all at once. Only the dream god could do that. That's why she told us to find her, to awaken her. Without hesitation, Truongdich launched himself straight into the water. Everyone, follow me. Let's go check it out together. Water-repelling art. The other three quickly followed, swimming deep below. The mage's exclusive skill provides a party-wide buff, allowing them to move freely underwater for 3 minutes. Truongdich stopped and pointed ahead. Look, everyone, the butterflies are flying towards that stone palace gate. Observing them, he smiled faintly and guessed, that place is most likely an entrance to another location. Let's head over there too. Suddenly, Nyan Yu fell silent, her eyes darting around. Something made Nyan Yu's eyes go wide with alarm. Wait, I think there's something at the bottom of the lake. A cluster of tentacles shot out from behind a rock. They wrapped tightly around her like glue, refusing to let go. An octopus-like monster with tentacles clung tightly to Nanhu. Nanhu. The tentacles enveloped her body, squeezing so hard she couldn't struggle. Truongdich quickly swung his blade, slicing through all the tentacles. Xiaonu, get behind me. A notification window appeared. The water evasion technique had 30 seconds remaining. The four of them stared at the monster in bewilderment. This monster's regeneration is too powerful. Bat Hoang shouted a warning. We're screwed. The water evasion technique is about to expire. We can't waste any more time on it. We have to get out of here now. Seeing that time was running out, Truongdich urged the others. I can hold it off here. You guys go open the door. The notification window appeared again. Water evasion technique remaining. 20 seconds. Wasting no time, Bat Hoang and Thon Long rushed forward. Thon Long, with me. Let's open the palace's stone gate. Another notification appeared. Water evasion technique remaining. 10 seconds. He quickly placed his hands in the crack of the gate. We're almost out of time. Open up. Outside, Truongdich was desperately fighting off the monster. As the gap widened, Bat Hoang yelled, pull harder, it's almost open. His mouth was now filled with blood as he grit his teeth in pain. 1, 2, 3. A notification appeared. Water evasion status has ended. Finally, Bat Hoang and Thon Long managed to open the gate, revealing a red protective barrier, a restraining ward. Truongdich unleashed a flurry of slashes towards the tentacles. The two of them quickly swam away from the area. Seeing she was losing strength, he held out his hand to help. Take my hand. Truongdich quickly grabbed Nyan Yu's wrist. He pulled her along as they quickly passed through the barrier, but he didn't notice one of the monster's tentacles wrapping tightly around his leg. Beside him, Bat Hoang raised his weapon to deal with it. He brought his blade down hard, severing the tentacle. Close the door. Now. The door finally slammed shut, leaving bloody tentacles floating in the water outside. Inside the gate, Nyanhu looked at Truongdich and sighed in relief. That was too close. I was almost dragged away by that monster. He nodded beside her. It's okay now. That octopus can't get in here, not wanting to waste time. Truongdich urged the group. Let's go. We need to make the most of our time and see what's inside. The four of them entered a room with walls covered in writing. A notification identified the text as demonic language. Looking at the characters, Truongdich began to analyze them for the group. The shape of these characters is so bizarre. It gives me the creeps. It's the language of the demon clan. Just as Mongthan said, this place was invaded by the demon clan. My God. An incredibly fierce battle must have taken place here. He stepped forward, human skulls lying beside him. What we're seeing is probably just a small fraction of the total. Bat Huang and Thon Long followed, taking in the extremely bizarre scene of the demon clan invasion. Could this be related to the great calamity about to happen in this apocalyptic world? In the dark space, 3 shadowy figures appeared. Before long, the apocalyptic world will face a great calamity, and no one will be lucky enough to escape it. As if she'd spotted something, Nyanu pointed forward. Guys, look over there. In front of the group was a set of stairs, and at the top, a large stone slab was bound tightly by chains. Isn't the person chained to that platform Mongthan? Just as Trongdich had guessed, on the stone slab was indeed Mongthan. It seems Mongthan's deep sleep was no coincidence. There's likely a much larger conspiracy hidden behind all this. Suddenly, the chains began to move, jerking forward, and sitting on a black throne was a young woman. Well, you 4 little insects. With glowing red eyes, she bared her sharp teeth and shouted, "Do you have any idea whose territory you've just stepped into?" Mong Lin slowly descended from her throne and walked forward, a red aura emanating from her. "I never expected you to barge your way all the way to this place." Mong Lin raised her hand to Mongthan's neck and questioned her. "And I'm even more surprised that after all this time, you still refuse to accept your fate." She caught a brilliant blue butterfly, crushing it in her hand. "You're the one who led them here, aren't you?" Mong Lin's face darkened. She leaned in, whispering into Mongthan's ear, "Do you have any idea? You've doomed these youngsters to a terrible end. I truly want you to watch with your own eyes how these insects die because of you." Suddenly, from a distance, a clash sent several figures flying through the air. Raising her weapon, Nyanhu stood before Mong Lin's minions. She commanded, "Hey, who are you? Release Mongthan now." From above, the woman crossed her arms and scoffed. "Release her? We'll see if you have what it takes." In an instant, the door behind Trongdich's group was sealed by massive iron chains. "You've stepped into my domain. None of you should even think about leaving today." With that, Mong Lin extended her arm forward. A chain shot out from her hand. From high above, a giant boulder slowly descended along the chain. The time was right. Mong Lin swung the chain, flinging the boulder towards the group. "Be destroyed, you insects." Nyanhu and Trongdich stood with their eyes wide open as they began to use their own techniques. This place is filled with the corpses of Demon Clan warriors who used spirit mimicry, activating the spirit mimicry talent. In a cloud of green smoke, Mongthan floated in the air, looking down at Nyanhu below. "Your name is Nyanhu, isn't it? You are very lucky. You hold a great power within you that surpasses your own understanding. Remember this, no matter what. You must always hold on to your faith." Meng Ling watched, her face frozen in a state of bewilderment. The two of them quickly seemed to merge into one. She stood before the dream god, forming a hand seal. The chain-wrapped boulder seemed to switch places, hurtling straight toward her underlings. They were crushed beneath it, their faces contorted in agony. The scene unfolding before her made the chain-covered Meng Ling's eyes burn with rage. She roared, "You think you can beat me with this same old trick? Not even the one behind me could defeat me. Where do you get your confidence from?" Not giving Meng Ling a chance to be smug, Ba Huang and Qing Long dashed forward, launching their attack. "Then what about me? I'm here to help too." Golden Elegy. The two of them didn't hesitate for a moment. They shot toward Meng Ling, who had her arm stretched out, ready to unleash her soul-locking chains. The chains wrapped tightly around Qing Long's wrist several times over. He could barely move. Ba Huang was no exception, his arm tightly bound by the chains. "What the hell is this?" Seeing their expressions, Meng Ling broke into a triumphant smirk. She shrieked, "Come now, all of you, become my puppets. Anyone caught by my soul-locking chains will submit to me." How? How can this be? Just a few seconds later, both of their eyes turned a blazing red. They looked just like puppets. Ba Huang suddenly bared his teeth, his red eyes turning to look behind him. Without another word, Ba Huang charged straight for Zhang Yi's group in the distance. My favorite thing to watch is close comrades slaughtering each other. The real show is just beginning. He gripped his weapon, aiming straight down at Yanu from above. "Brother, what's wrong with you?" Ba Huang's actions made her look up, her eyes wide with shock. "It's me, Xiao Nu." Suddenly, something blocked his weapon, sending red sparks flying. It was none other than Zhang Yi, standing protectively in front of Yan Yu with his blade. "Ba Huang, snap out of it." Ba Huang relentlessly unleashed a barrage of powerful, merciless slashes at Zhang Yi. Meng Ling watched with an amused smile, her face smug as she explained, "He's my puppet now. He only listens to my commands." And just like that, he swung his glowing red blade at him without mercy. "Get out of my way." The blow knocked Zhang Yi off balance, sending him stumbling back. He was forced to use his blade to stop his fall. At the same time, Ba Huang lunged toward Yan Nu. He clutched his weapon, his eyes glowing red, as he slowly advanced on her. "Ba Huang, stop. That's your own sister." Fear was written all over Yanu's face. She seemed completely helpless. Not far away, under Meng Ling's control, Qinglong raised his sharp bow and arrow. "Don't go soft. Shoot an arrow right through that woman's heart for me." Zhang Yi, on one knee, widened his eyes and screamed Yanu's name. "Yanu, behind you." The sharp arrows flew like the wind, hurtling toward her back in an instant. Thanks to his magic, one of Meng Ling's underlings became a human shield, saving Yanu's life. Yanu's spirit swapper ability had activated,